Since 1963, this matchup has heralded its greatness throughout time in Orange County. Some consider it America's finest high school football rivalry. Many know it as the Battle of the Bay. Newport Beach, a community divided by a single body of water, tonight divided by a football field. It's a packed house at LaBarge Stadium on the campus of Orange Coast College, Newport Harbor, and Corona Del Mar. Ready to add on to the deep-rooted history of this game here on TAR TV Sports. It's the 64th edition of the Battle of the Bay. Welcome down to LaBarge Stadium. Justin Lee alongside the ever-amazing Newport alumnus, Tara Vargas and Kara Kirby down on the sidelines. Everyone in this community has this game marked on their calendars every year, and every iteration of this game becomes ever more intense and as nail-biting each time. This rivalry is finally back here in LaBarge Stadium, and this atmosphere is like none other, Taryn.
Absolutely, Justin. This is one of the best football rivalries in Orange County, and the last three meetings have shown it. This is where the city of Newport Beach is split down the middle and divided into two different parts. I've witnessed this rivalry as a spectator and as a broadcaster for half of my life, and it never disappoints for the most part. This is where both teams throw out the records and narratives and let their game do the talking. We haven't seen this rivalry take place at Orange Coast College since 2016, but this is a state-of-the-art field and an amazing venue to hold a high school football rivalry game such as this.
So far this season, Newport Harbor has had their ups and downs of the season, and you can argue that they should be 6-0. And as far as the Sea Kings, they're looking for yet another undefeated season. The last time the Sea Kings started 6-0, they won the state title in 2019 for the second time in their program history. Either way, the Sailors come into LaBarge Stadium with a 2-4 and are hoping to get their first Bravo League win this season. Tonight, it will fall all on the shoulders of who has the most heart in this game. Players such as Shane McKibben, Glenn Baranowski, Brady Annette, Dorset Stecker, the list goes and on. Taryn.
Yeah, Newport Harbor has to play a full, complete game against Corona Del Mar. Against the Sea Kings, they are not the type of team to make mistakes. Their offense is dynamic and electric, and their defense gets better by the week. It starts to become the no-name defense that Corona Del Mar fans have known all too well. Overall, the Sea Kings are playing on a whole other level, and it is shown in last week's win in San Juan Hills in the Bravo League opener against said Bravo League champion, by the way. Justin Lee, back to you.
Both teams are led by head coaches who fit the definition of natural leaders. Coach Kevin Heddick, who was the offensive coordinator under Dan O'Shea, who led the Sea Kings to that 2019 undefeated season and a state title, took over the program in 2023 and continued the production of elite quarterback talent and offensive plays since taking the helm. On the flip side, Coach Matt Burns is continuing his legacy as a Sailor, where he once played here under the legendary Jeff Brinkley, and is hoping to bring back glory to Newport Harbor. Our production team caught up with Coach Burns to get his thoughts about today's game.
To me, it means everything. You know, I've been lucky enough to be a player. I've played in this game, and I've coached a long time. So I think somewhere between 50-plus Battle of the Bays between my coaching career and my playing career, and I've been on both sides. I've been on the highs and the lows, but it's a special game. You know, this is a game where, you know, the community comes out. It's a big show. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of action outside of the game itself, you know, and you got to make sure that you stay within what's true, and that's the game itself, and playing with a lot of heart and discipline. There's only one way to prepare. We prepare the same way for every opponent, whether it's San Juan Hills to CDM, Lancaster, or USC. We're going to find a way to win and exploit what they do poorly, you know, and try and maximize what we do, you know, efficiently. You know, the team that's going to win is the one that plays the hardest, and so that's kind of the goal, and making sure the kids stay focused, you know, on that aspect and not get caught up with all the action that's going on outside of the game.
Last year, Matt Burns must have been on cloud nine when Newport Harbor won his first ever Battle of the Bay as a head coach. Kevin Heddick, on the other hand, is still searching for his first Battle of the Bay win as a head coach, as the past two games have been heartbreakers for he and his team. But they have a chance to right their wrongs.
Now for more in-depth analysis about tonight, we go to our sideline reporter, Kira Kirby, who's taking in all the buzz. How's it hanging down there, Kira?
Hi. Hi, this is Kira Kirby reporting live from the sidelines at Battle of the Bay. The vibe down here is very excited. As you can hear, the crowds are pumped. I don't know, if you look around, Tar Pit might have the edge right now. In fact, in the gray, Tar Pit probably is the ultimate 12th man. Stay tuned. I'll be reporting more later as the game progresses.
Thank you, Kira. Well, Taryn, here's the big question about tonight. Who's going to outlast who first? Up until this point, both sides have had a fairly even numbers through 6 games. Newport Harbor, 1,322 total receiving yards, averaging 220 yards per game, 15 touchdowns. Corona Del Mar with 1,452 total receiving yards, averaging 242 a game, 23 touchdowns. The Sailors and the Sea Kings both have solid receiving cores. Now it's just a matter of execution. What do you think, Taryn?
Offensively, Corona Del Mar checks off most of the boxes. Opposing defenses will have to pick their poison against receivers. If you put your best corner on someone like Dorset Stecker, that opens up Garrett James. And if that weren't enough, J.J. Haley has stepped up as of late, having at least 1 touchdown in the past 3 games. We're not even through the scary part of the offense, the run game. Just when Newport Harbor fans thought Wyatt Lucas had graduated, a new bell cow takes over. Chase Kuchera has stepped up at running back for his team, and he's not alone. Trajan Nixon is another running back to watch for. If ever Kuchera is struggling, or heaven forbid he gets hurt, expect Nixon to step up, as he's found ways to do so. Now, Newport Harbor's offense, on the other hand, is going to have to answer the call when it comes to marching up against Corona Del Mar's defense. Shane McKibben and Ryan Palmer are really going to have to bring their A game in the receiving game, especially if the run game isn't working. The run game will have to work extra hard today against the Sea Kings big boys on defense.
Everything on the table tonight for the Sailors, who are in desperate need of a win tonight. The bright side this season for the Sailors has been their secondary. They've limited to opponents at just 112 yards per game, including limiting Colony to less than 10 yards and less than 100 for Tesoro High School. They face Brady and Net, though, tonight, and the secondary will have to force turnovers, which they have forced 3 last year in this particular game against Annette. Taryn, what is the key tonight in your eyes?
Newport Harbor has to play a full 4-quarter game and not let their record define them. I know all 4 of their losses have been by 1 score. I know they have an argument that they should be 6-0 right now, but they just have to play like the record is 0-0. Just think, the seniors on this year's Newport Harbor team have a chance to keep the Mariners Telegraph Trophy on 600 Irvine Avenue, as well as throw a possible wrench in Corona Del Mar's Bravo League title hopes.
We get to what everyone in Newport has been waiting for. We'll step aside and catch a break before it goes all down in Costa Mesa. You're watching the Battle of the Bay on TAR TV Sports. All right, we're almost underway here at Dick Tucker Field. Newport has won the toss. They'll receive the football back deep. Jackson Stremick takes the kickoff. And he finds a few holes. He gets down to about the 24-yard line to start things off here tonight, as we'll see the Newport Harbor Sailors take the field here.
This is going to be a big test for Newport Harbor. They're facing an undefeated Corona Del Mar team. They are just clicking on all cylinders. It just feels like Corona Del Mar is finding their identity on defense every single week.
So this is a strange development, but Jordan Spigarelli is stepping into the quarterback spot instead of Jake Meir, who has been starting this entire season. The junior transfer from Jay Serra is stepping in for Jake Meir.
I don't know about you, but I did not see this coming. This is going to be very interesting for Newport Harbor.
It's a flip around, end around for Jackson Stremick. Was trying to see if he could take a pass down the field, but it gets taken down from behind. Alexander Nickadu makes the stop on that play, so a little razzle-dazzle for the Tars to try to start things off. Nothing happening on that first play.
Yeah, Corona Del Mar really did a good job of reading that. Newport Harbor, I like the aggressiveness of going with the trick play, but Corona Del Mar just really read that play perfectly.
So it'll be 2nd down and 15 after the first play blows up. The Tars are missing their best right tackle tonight, Emiliano Biggie Torres, who had some injury issues against Tesoro High School, has a cast on his leg. He's out for tonight, and taking his spot, Chris Velades at the right guard, Mario Miranda at right tackle, Presley Taylor at left guard, Jagger Danoon as always at left tackle, and Christopher Foster under center for the Tars tonight. Jordan Spigarelli, who split time with the 3-star recruit, and Ryan Hopkins at Jay Sayre, who's now at Mater Dei, the Wisconsin commit. He's only played in 3 games, 8 for 11, 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Started playing on the JV team just a few weeks ago after going through that 5-game block from CIF. And now he's here in the biggest game of the year for this entire city. He gives the handoff here to Jonah Takamori, and not much there for about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Sailors on their first drive.
Yeah, like I said, Newport Harbor is going to have their hands full when it comes to this no-face CDM defense. They just create a lot of problems when it comes to the run game, and they get so much pressure. If you saw their game against San Juan Hills, they made Timmy Herr and the rest of the San Juan Hills offense a living nightmare.
The 6-0 CDM Sea Kings come into this game. They have limited teams to just under 12 points per game. And they're looking to limit the Tars here as Spigarelli dancing around in the pocket in a bit of trouble. Rolls out to his right. There is a flag on the play as he gets up to about the 32-yard line.
I'm going to take a guess and say with all that time that he had, it might be holding on Newport Harbor. Just a guess, though.
It's a holding call.
Yep, it is holding on Newport Harbor. Just because Jordan Spigarelli had a whole lot of time, and he was just scampering around. So that's a tough break for him, but it's still going to be another 3rd down. It's like it's still going to be at the same spot.
So this will be 3rd down and 12 for the Tars on their first drive here at Labard Stadium. They're backed up here with a holding call, and they're all the way back. The ball placed at about the 13-yard line, so this will be 3rd down and forever. 3rd down and 21 yards.
There's just not a play in the playbook for something like this.
So Spigarelli will take it back. Going for a short pass here. Finds Wyatt Wilson, but he'll be very short, way short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down for the Tars.
Yeah, that is a good catch by Wyatt Wilson. All he could just really do is just try to get some of the yards back, but unfortunately, it was just to no avail for Newport Harbor, and this is just what Corona Del Mar does defensively. They put you in 3rd and long situations, and it just is a massive nightmare for your team.
So Daniel Uncle Rico will punt it away on 4th and 12. He'll send it down to the returner, nearly blocked. Takes a Newport roll as Dorset Stecker decides to not go for that ball. It'll be dropped down at the 36-yard line of Corona Del Mar. So the first time that this game has been back here at Orange Coast College for the first time since 2016, 7,600 in capacity. Just for the scope of just how big this game is for the community. The tickets were sold about a week ago. The Newport side was already sold out by Tuesday. The Corona Del Mar side, because they have more seating on this home side since their home team technically tonight, didn't get sold out until about yesterday. But that's how popular this game is early on throughout the week. Everybody, and I mean everybody, has his calendar marked.
Yeah,
so
if you saw Corona Del Mar football's video, there was even a line when it came to driving in and getting tickets. It's like that was Chase Gutierrez on that play.
So a handoff there to Chase Gutierrez, who's behind at the running back position tonight. And the quarterback, as always, Brady Annette. so far this season, 1,415 yards, 22 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and it's 126 QB rating. He will have all of his targets tonight. Garrett James, J.J. Haley, and Dorset Stecker available tonight as they hand off to Kuchera again, and he will get enough for the first down on this first drive for the Sea Kings. It's Baranowski for the tackle.
Yeah, that was another good run by Kuchera. And again, this is your pick your poison if you're Newport Harbor. If you try to clog the run, then that'll give Annette enough time to throw to either James, Stecker, or Haley. This Corona Del Mar team is just checking off all the boxes on every side of the ball.
So after the first down gain, Brady Annette in shotgun. We'll hand it off to Kuchera, immediately hit before he could get through the line. Baranowski's there.
Yeah, and this is one of the strengths for Corona Del Mar. They run the ball effectively, and this is one of the weaknesses for Newport Harbor. They just don't seem to have an answer for the run game. They did do a good job on that play, but Corona Del Mar is driving. And one thing I forgot to mention is that last year, Brady Annette just did not have most of his receivers healthy. He didn't have Garrett James with a few matches, only one game under his belt. Dorset Stecker had a high ankle sprain. Zach Giuliano was out, so now he's got a full arsenal.
So they're going with the end around here on the jet sweep as they clearly put this one under through. It's Dorset Stecker running through the tackles, still on his feet, and finally brought down on a huge gain of about 14 yards. He'll be down at about the 36-yard line of Newport.
Yeah, and that was just a quick heads-up play right there. Dorset Stecker is just such a tough player to bring down. You only need like 2 or 3 bodies in order to bring him down. Just a Swiss Army knife when it comes to receiving and running the ball. So just a great play right there.
We've seen 2 different Swiss Army knives for both sides tonight. Stecker, Jackson's running for the Tars. First down here. After moving the chains, Annette looking for a shot, decides to take it himself as he runs upfield. Open lane way in front of him before he runs into one of the tacklers, Trevor Glynn, out there. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, that's holding. If you have all that time to run, you are most likely holding. Speaking of offensive line, it is actually Will Harrington's birthday, which is pretty cool if you ask me. His girlfriend, Kaden Klausing, she actually had her birthday a couple days ago. She plays on the girls volleyball team at Newport Harbor.
Will Harrington, the now Sea King, was a Newport Tar not too long ago, and Coach Matt Burns was excited to have his line come back 4 out of 5 this season. And then Will Harrington transferred midway through the summer, decided to go to the other side of the bay. And when you talk about rivalries like that, that's got to add a lot of fuel to the fire for the Tars.
Absolutely, and that is just a tough loss right there for Newport Harbor, especially since the old saying goes, no line, no shine, as Charlie T. Gantvord would say.
So as the Sea Kings get backed up on the first down play on the run by Brady Annette, it will be 1st and 20. He'll find J.J. Haley, who had 100 yards last week, and there's a flag for a late hit, it seems like, on Ethan Ambat.
Newport Harbor might have gotten a little too over-aggressive on that play, but we shall see what the flag is. Looks like the officials are pointing the other way, but only time shall tell.
It seems a little 50-50 on the way going out for Ethan Ambat, and that flag was right there at that point of contact.
Oh, yeah, it is a late hit out of bounds or unnecessary roughness. You just cannot have those penalties if you're Newport Harbor. You just can't.
So the Sea Kings get pushed back 10 yards, and now they go ahead 15 yards for the Sea Kings. They'll be placing the ball at about the 21-yard line for Newport. And the Sea Kings looking to get their first points and strike first here in the Battle of the Bay. So Brady Annette with Kuchera in the backfield has 3 touchdowns this season. Brings up Stecker to his right.
Ooh,
looks like a false start on the Sea Kings.
Yeah, false start.
So 3 different penalties in a row. You've got the push out of bounds call, you have the holding call previously, and a false start here. So trading yards for yards here so far on this first drive for the Sea Kings. Right now, getting close to the red zone on 1st and 15 now. Brady Annette with 1 running back, rolls out Stecker. Stecker going on the wheel route. Annette takes a deep shot. Got a man in front of him and overthrown his intended receiver.
Ooh.
He had him wide open. It was Garrett James.
Yeah, if he threw that ball just a little under, or if Garrett James had 1 more step, he maybe would have had a 6 on that one, but that's just one of those unfortunate plays. No harm, no foul, unfortunately for them. Still got plenty of 2 more downs at the very least.
Brady Annette has been the gunslinger type of quarterback for the Sea Kings, and even Coach Kevin Heddick even talked about his mentality as a gunslinger, saying, yes, he's a great gunslinger. He has the right tools, but you got to be able to control that gunslinger ability. And so far, you can see it in the numbers when it comes to Brady Annette. 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. In his career, he has 31 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. So not exactly the most conservative with the ball as his counterpart Jake Muir on the other side. Even though he's not playing at the moment, we'll keep an eye on how that develops throughout the night. But Brady Annette
looks like Annette just went out because there might be blood on him. So Sean
Wassentek hands it off to Kuchera. He finds a seam, bursting through into the end zone. Touchdown, Sea Kings.
No Brady Annette, no problem. Newport Harbor just left way too much space for Kuchera, and he just ran it in like a track meet. And that right there is a touchdown for Corona Del Mar, and that is how you get things going in the Battle of the Bay rivalry.
So Kuchera gets the first points on the board for the Sea Kings in the Battle of the Bay. Extra point on the way here. Joseph DeBella for the Sea Kings. Knocks it through. There is a flag in the back side of the line, though.
Might be offsides on Newport Harbor, which means Corona Del Mar could elect to go for the 2-point conversion. It doesn't look like it. So they might just decline the penalty, and then that might affect the kickoff and whatnot.
Fairly long drive for the Sea Kings with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left.
Looks like it's a holding call on Newport Harbor.
Personal foul against Newport Harbor. Be assessed on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
Personal foul against Newport Harbor, so that's going to be assessed on the kickoff.
I was about to say, I don't think you can hold on a PAT formation, which would have been very weird, but yeah, it's a personal foul on the Newport Sailors. So this will be enforced on the kickoff, and we'll see how they respond in this moment. The big thing here tonight, the Sea Kings have the Kings crew, the Sailors have the Tar Pit. Both of them are facing each other on both sides of this field. You see the posters on top of the stadium. You see the stairs are littered with posters made by the students here for Newport Harbor, and Corona Del Mar has this entire home field section all filled up to the brim here. This energy is like nothing unlike anything in Orange County, Taryn, and the fact that you've been able to witness 2 of the best games arguably in the Battle of the Bay, talking about 2024 and 2023 when the Sailors broke the 10-game losing streak to the Sea Kings. Must have been a heck of a ride for the Sailors.
It was wild, and it just shows that special teams mean a lot when it comes to when it comes to both of these teams. And then last year, it just was the case of both defenses stepping up to the plate. Kind of reminded you of that old school Big Ten football games from back in the old days.
So kickoff for DeBella sends it into the end zone for a touchback, and the Sailors will be up to about the 20-yard line to start things on their second drive, see if something can change a little bit here on this drive. For Jordan Spigarelli, the professor, and that name, unbeknownst to many, Spigarelli has grown up in the Newport area since his youth. Decided to go to J. Serra to see if he can change the outlook for himself. But now he transferred back here after not getting enough playing time at J. Serra in this spot. Now he's in the biggest game of the year. And what a spot for the young quarterback. And it's very closely similar to what happened in 2012 from long ago. Cole Norris, the backup quarterback. But here we go. Spigarelli hands off. Wide open seam for Takamori. He gets a first down in the first run of the second drive.
That is a rare mistake from Corona Del Mar. You never see them giving a whole lot of space when it comes to opponents' teams running. But I guess Corona Del Mar thought that they were going to go for a pass, and they tried to bring pressure on Spigarelli. But Newport Harbor gets its first down of the game, and it's a good first down, too.
Newport Harbor facing off against Corona Del Mar. Corona Del Mar has only allowed 106 yards per game. They're averaging 3.9 yards given up per game. And just right there, Takamori with the handoff. He gets it again and found a pretty good hole before getting stacked up by the Sea Kings on defense.
That time Corona Del Mar wasn't fooled, as they didn't allow as many yards as the previous play. So I like Corona Del Mar's adjustment when it comes to honoring the run game. And Takamori's been pretty solid. It's not like Newport Harbor doesn't have a run game. Takamori has been getting some of those yards, and that is what is going to be key for Newport Harbor, because they just can't be one-dimensional. Because as my colleague from Sunset Rewind, Mo Padios, would say, if you're one-dimensional, you will not win any football games.
Takamori likes the hard gain yards. He's averaging 4 yards and 3.3 per carry. So he'll be the big spotlight for the Sailors here tonight as Spigarelli rolls out. And a pass deflected onto the ground. It's their star, Tucker Murray on the defensive side, blocking that pass by Spigarelli.
Yeah, Tucker Murray did a good job of pretty much blanketing the receiver right there. And he's kind of that Swiss Army knife as well, mainly on defense. Sometimes he'll return some punts, but Tucker Murray definitely is a ball hawk, and you definitely have to watch for him defensively, draping over your best receiver.
So once again in another third down situation, 3rd and 7 for the Sailors as Spigarelli settles in. 6'3", 200 pounds. And a flag on the upside judge as he runs down the line. See what the call is in just a moment.
And it's on the Sea Kings side, so.
Offsides against the Sea Kings pushes the Sailors now into a manageable position on this 3rd down.
Yeah, so it goes from 3rd and medium to 3rd and manageable for Newport Harbor. But if I'm Corona Del Mar, I'm predicting the run here. They were able to do that last year in a 3rd and 1 against San Juan Hills last week. And they read that perfectly, forced a fumble, and eventually cashed in on the touchdown.
So both sides bring in substitutions, and they're going into the famous bone formation, made famous by Jeff Brinkley. And there's Glenn Baranowski. There's a flag on the play on both sides.
Looks like both flags are on the Corona Del Mar side, so it might be another offsides call. Encroachment.
See what the referee says here in just a sec.
Offsides again on Corona Del Mar. Just can't have those penalties, and that's a fresh set of downs for Newport Harbor. Just can't have that if you're a team like Corona Del Mar. They're actually pretty well disciplined, but when it comes to games like this, it just kind of makes you have a big head with all of the pizzazz and rah-rah and whatnot. Corona Del Mar just needs to have a clear mind.
So essentially giving the Sailors the first down here. They're set up at about the 46-yard line of their own. And that bone formation made famous, almost like the Eagles tush push. Spigarelli now. Scott McKibben before he got taken down by Tucker Murray. It'll be a manageable gain of about 5 yards.
Well, you saw at the bottom of your screen at the beginning of the play that Shane McKibben was there, and Tucker Murray was there to get the stop, prevent any extra yardage, and that is big right there because a few more steps, you maybe could have had a first down and then some.
Tucker Murray just recently announced his commitment to Princeton University, another smart student on that side, facing off against Spigarelli, who has a 4.38 GPA in his high school career so far, and as a junior, by the way. Tucker Murray will play lacrosse there and football as well. Spigarelli hands off to Tucker Murray, and he's immediately met in the backfield. Cash Pearsall is right there to grab him and throw him to the ground.
Yeah, and that is pretty much like what happened with San Juan Hills on their third down on their first drive. Eventually got sandwiched, and eventually, thankfully for Newport Harbor's sake, they didn't lose the ball. But Newport Harbor now finds himself in a very precarious situation.
So now it's third down and long once again, third down and 10. And the Sea Kings surely won't jump off sides in this situation to give them free yards once again. Takamori's in the backfield, 4 receivers as Spigarelli sets up.
Don't be surprised if we see a check down from Spigarelli.
Spigarelli takes it from the shotgun, going down the field. Pinpoints it for McKibben as he goes down the sideline and out of bounds at about the 30, and it was almost intercepted too, but he put it in the perfect spot over the defender, Cash Pearsall.
And that is what we call threading the needle. Dangerous pass, but he just found McKibben at the right spot, got that first down, and beat a couple of players. And now Newport Harbor has some momentum as they are driving right down the field.
What a great pass there by Jordan Spigarelli. The professor calculated that pass pretty perfectly and found McKibben in the right spot. And first down, now they're inside Sea King territory at the 31. Stremick going out on the motion. Spigarelli, pressure, brings it down. It's a design screen and brought down by Pearsall.
Yeah, Pearsall did a great job on that one. Pearsall had himself a nice little game last week against San Juan Hills. Looks like there's also a flag down as well, which I don't know if that might have been an accidental flag, but that does not look like a hat or something of that sort. It is yellow laundry. Looks like illegal shift.
Looks like there's a little excessive movement in the backfield with 2 men moving while Stremick was in motion right there. So this will be first and 10, and not sure they really moved the ball back. Well, it seems a little bit confusing right here. They're moving it back 5 yards where it should be. The Sailors tonight are wearing some new helmet designs. They have Popeye the Sailor on their helmet, or Tommy the Tar if you want to put it whichever way. And they're wearing their gray jerseys for the second time this season since they played against Lancaster that first time around. And technically, they aren't undefeated in those gray uniforms. They beat Lancaster, and the last time they wore the gray uniforms before that was in 2023, that Battle of the Bay game that you called in that 21-20 victory. So Matt Burns getting a little superstitious, if you will.
Yeah, and tradition never graduates, and superstitions never graduate when it comes to Newport Harbor.
Takamori going through the tackles, brings it up back to close to the line of scrimmage originally. It will be behind it by about a yard, so it'll be second down and 11 now for the Sailors as the clock is running down with 1 minute and 20 seconds left.
Yeah, Newport Harbor needs to find pay dirt on this drive, or at least 3 points, but the 7 is so much better just because you need touchdowns to beat a team like Corona Del Mar, because their offense can basically go boom, 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 and eventually score with all of the options that they have.
So second down and 11 for Spigarelli. Spigarelli takes the low snap, Throws it down the field and nearly picked off by Tucker Murray.
That went right through Tucker Murray's hands, and he actually had a good amount of space. Could have possibly ran it back for the pick six, and that was just so dangerous if you are Jordan Spigarelli.
Looked like he wanted Jackson Stremick going down the line on an out route. Instead, it becomes an incomplete pass, and 3rd and 9 for the Sailors. 3rd and 11, excuse me. Spigarelli comes into a situation where the Sailors once upon a time did it in 2012, one of the greatest comebacks in Battle of the Bay history, when Cole Norris took over for Zach Wade and engineered a game-winning drive. Spigarelli taking a deep shot downfield. A little bit of contact, it's incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Wyatt Wilson. It will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Will Chavez was cut blanketing the receiver on that one. A great job right there. Was there a little contact, but not too much to draw a flag. And this is an interesting spot for Newport Harbor. Way too far to go for a field goal. Feels a little way too close to punt. So Newport Harbor's kind of in that no man's land.
Will Chavez had a pick last week against San Juan Hills, so Spigarelli will have to, if he throws that, that goes the same way for Tucker Murray, who's over there on the other side at that corner position. 19 tackles and 1 pass defended. Spigarelli on 4th down as the Sailors are going for it. Spigarelli with a good pocket and overthrows his man Wyatt Wilson. It will be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Spigarelli. I think the receiver just ran the wrong route or something like that. Either way, just an unfortunate turn of events for Newport Harbor. And this is kind of where maybe you try to check it down, try to get the 1st down. I know it's 4th and 11, but it just was to no avail. So Corona Del Mar with a big win, and again, their offense can march down the field in a short amount of time, if need be.
Brady Annette comes back out onto the field, and the Sailors have had his number since last year. 3 interceptions last year, with Brady Annette really carrying the offense in some regards with 2 rushing touchdowns, but was only limited to 101 yards passing, was 11 for 24 and a 45% completion rate. Brady Annette almost with Marcella there as he scrambles out, stays on his feet and tackled from behind.
That is what Brady Annette can do. His older brother, Caleb, loved to do that too. I know it's not ideal for quarterbacks just because it's not good on your legs, but Brady Annette loves to be mobile and whatnot, and that is the unique trait about his game. Just reminds you a lot of Caleb with a little bit more shiftiness and a little bit more accuracy in terms of passing.
Brady Annette is at 24 carries this season, now 25. It's 149 rush yards, and up the gut, Trayshawn Nixon goes, gets enough for 1st down.
That's the other running back for Corona Del Mar. That's the 2-headed monster in the backfield, and that's a lot of momentum going into the 2nd quarter.
And that's the end of the 1st quarter. Sea Kings up by 1. So during the quarter break, we'll get another interview just like we did with Coach Matt Burns, but it's Glenn Bernowski as our production team caught up with him. Let's see what his thoughts are about this Battle of the Bay game.
This year it's different because we want to, especially the seniors, we want to go 3-0 on varsity. So we want to win really bad, just like every game. I think this year being at OCC could make a big difference. It's not usually at a different area, so just a different game environment. One word to describe Battle of the Bay is definitely electric. Fans are going crazy. It's a packed house, so on every play there's a lot of noise, so it's really cool to see.
Welcome back here in the Battle of the Bay. Orange Coast College, Brady Annette here on 1st and 10 as the Sea Kings are driving through after a turnover on down. It's a handoff to Trayshawn Nixon for the second time on this drive as he brings it up on a short gain of just about a yard.
Yeah, that was a good read on Newport Harbor's defense, but Corona Del Mar has the momentum. They just have way too many options. I mean, they could beat you on the ground, they could beat you in the air, and it looks like Brady is back. On the previous drive from Corona Del Mar's offense, he actually had to come out the game. He probably had a little blood on him, which it's a rule where if you have any sort of blood on you, you got to come out the game, get that cleaned up.
2nd down and 9. Annette with a good pocket takes a deep shot down the field. He's got his man, Garrett James, for the score.
That is just the precision of Brady Annette finding Garrett James. Garrett James didn't really play a whole lot last year. He missed half the season due to a shoulder injury that he suffered in passing league, but he was super precise on that route, caught it perfectly for the score. Corona Del Mar is about to go up 14, barring the extra point.
That's had 2 touchdowns last week against San Juan Hills. Gets one here. Extra point. Good, as the Corona Del Mar Sea Kings are up by 14 points in the second quarter.
Yeah, this Corona Del Mar team just, again, checks off a lot of the boxes. Receiving, running, quarterback, defense, offensive line, you name it. This Corona Del Mar team is a unit. They might be the best kept secret in Orange County football, and they could be on the potential of possibly having a deep playoff run. And who knows, maybe we could see Corona Del Mar being promoted into the Alpha League, because at the end of the season, we'll probably see 2 of the best teams from the Bravo League get promoted into the Alpha League, which is home of Edison, Los Alamitos, Mission Viejo, and San Clemente.
Conversation for a while too was that Yorba Linda could have been in that conversation. They also just lost yesterday to San Juan Hills, as San Juan Hills beat them 41-17. San Juan Hills was also of being able of possibly moving up to the Alpha League as well. And the Sea Kings, if they do move up to the Alpha League, it just means this game will be moved to an earlier time next year instead of where they've been here with the Bravo League and how it kind of works.
Correct, and there is the possibility of demotion as well, kind of like relegation and whatnot. So teams could either go up or they can go down in terms of their league placement. So we shall see.
DeBella kicks it off. Gives it off to his man. Had a little bit of space right there, and Cannon Cook makes the tackle on the returner, Tyler Glenn, excuse me.
That was Trevor Glenn on that play. His older brother Tony is all too familiar when it comes to this rivalry. Let's see if Trevor can bring home a Battle of the Bay win and whatnot. But Newport Harbor's got a tall task. They really need to get their offense dialed in, cross their T's and dot their I's.
Coach Matt Burns talks about this game with a high regard. He says grit, discipline, effort will carry the night, and it's all about heart. They're going to need a lot of heart and grit if they want to get back into this game quickly, but it's still manageable with just 2 scores in the second quarter. So Spigarelli will have a tall task, like you said, as they first hand off here up the middle. It will be Takamori for a short gain.
That was a good stop by Alex Nitkin. He read that perfectly, preventing extra yards. Corona Del Mar is in defense. Their pass defense, run defense just seems to be locked in for the time being.
2nd down and 8 for Jordan Spigarelli. And if the situation becomes just like it was long ago, Corey Stowell on 4th and goal with 24 seconds left in the 2012 Battle of the Bay caught a 22-yard touchdown pass and has been even regarded to something just like the catch from the 49ers back in their Super Bowl days. As Spigarelli, good pocket, is still on his feet and finally dragged down as Spigarelli just tosses it up in the air. Ill-advised, and it's picked off for the moment.
I said,
The
they
refs
may
are
just call the
standing
sack
back
and
there.
just blow the play dead. So if a player eventually is about to get sacked and whatnot, they will just blow the play dead and whatnot and just not count the throw. Thankfully for Spigarelli, that interception does not count. But now it's 3rd and long for Newport Harbor. And like I said, you just don't have the playbook for 3rd and 18, 3rd and 20, 3rd and forever.
They've been put in this situation a lot of times already, this being just on the 3rd drive for the Sailors, and not ideal situations on these drives so far. 3rd and 17 as the Kings crew gets loud. Spigarelli with a blitz in his back, trying to find Takamori, and it's incomplete as he misses his intended man, and a flag late after the play.
An eligible man downfield by Newport Harbor. So Sea Kings are going to wisely wave this penalty off and force them to punt. And that was a good rush by Cash Pearsall. He just ran at him like they just bull rushed him.
And certainly a teaching moment on this drive for Jordan Spigarelli, with the pass just being thrown up in the air, especially when you're taking a sack like that. Coaches usually tell you just need to tuck the ball and not throw it up in the air. Don't want to give the defense any chances to run up the score as much as it already has been for the Sea Kings. So Dorset Stecker is back deep for the Sea Kings as Daniel Uncle Rico will punt away again.
Omar doesn't have any silly penalties.
Good looking punt there from Rico as it takes a Newport bounce. And it will be taken right at the 46-yard line of the Sea Kings with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half.
A flag on the play.
There is a flag at the midfield.
Be holding by the return team, or could be blocking the back.
Every year there seems to be a lot for the Sea King side, the Sailors side, and talking about what this game means for everybody. Everybody who leaves this program eventually comes back to come check this beautiful game as it is, the Battle of the Bay. And one of those folks, Ethan Garbers, who was here for the Sea Kings, is in the building. The UCLA quarterback graduated, became an NFL free agent. Dorian Thompson Robinson when Chip Kelly was there. He's in the building tonight.
So that flag was actually waved off, so I guess there was no flag on the play. And yeah, both programs obviously love to have their bragging rights and whatnot, so basically put up or shut up time for Newport Harbor.
Check down immediately for Brady Annette as he passes it off. Dorset Stecker with a massive pile. Enough for the first down already on the first play. And there's flags as both sides are getting chippy at the point of attack.
Yeah, frustration starting to mount for Newport Harbor. They just got to keep a clear mind. But on that play, Stecker had a lot of space for his liking. He could have ran it up for the first down and then some.
And that's exactly what we were expecting in this game. When you have these two sides really fighting against each other in this game, you're going to see this throughout the night.
So those were offsetting penalties, and basically they just cancel out each other. And since they were after the play, that basically means that it doesn't affect anything. There's no replay of downs. So it is a first down for Corona Del Mar.
First down and 10 after the check down to Dorset Stecker. Number 53, as picked by the Orange County Register, Orange OC varsity top 150 players in all of OC. now a 3-star recruit, and has a few offers from San Jose State and UNLV as well. Hasn't made a decision yet, but we'll see what happens in the offseason. And a quick handoff there to Trayshawn Nixon as he takes a big hit before going out of bounds.
Yeah, he really ran quick right there, and credit to the defender. He was able to catch him, force him out of bounds before he were to break off a big run right there. So good on him keeping on that.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7 as the Tars trying to limit the Sea Kings here and build a seawall here. This is a fairly crucial drive here for the Sailors if they want to try to get back into this game very quickly.
They need to come up with a big stop, force a punt, or get a turnover against Corona Del Mar.
2nd and 8. We'll just hand it off to Trayshawn Nixon. Immediately tackled by Bill Hancock. Another short gain for the Sea Kings.
Yeah, another good run stop by Newport Harbor. I'm expecting Brady Annette to either keep it himself or to throw it on this one. So the big 3rd down here. This is basically the money down right here. You gotta have it.
3rd down and 4. This is a big moment here for the Sailors. It's still early on in this game. Brady Annette will take a play action pass, rolls out to his left, throws it down, try to toe tap it, but it's incomplete as it's a bit ahead of his intended receiver, Garrett James, on the outer boundaries.
That was an interesting play right there. It looked like Annette didn't have a whole lot of time. I just forced that one, tried to get in, but this is an interesting spot for Corona Del Mar. And it looks like they're probably going to go for it on 4th down because they feel like they have the offense to overwhelm Newport Harbor's defense. And I would not be surprised if either Corona Del Mar either tried to draw Newport Harbor offsides or just go for it entirely and catch them off guard with a quick pass. But we get a timeout first.
The offense was staying out there. Brady Annette really didn't want that timeout, but Kevin Head called it anyways on this 4th down. So Newport Harbor does indeed get the stop here where they kind of really needed it the most in this moment.
Yeah, I still think Corona Del Mar could go for it. They're kind of in that territory. I don't know what the logistics are or the numbers are on if you should go for it or not. The fun fact about Corona Del Mar's football team this year, they have scored at least 20 points in all of their games this season. And even in the ugly wins against the likes of Charter Oak, Santa Barbara, you name it, this team just loves to put up points offensively. And everyone thought that Corona Del Mar wasn't battle tested, and that was the narrative going into the matchup against San Juan Hills. But they proved every narrative wrong, and that this Corona Del Mar team is
Corona Del Mar team showing off their shades of the 2013 team, the 2019 team. And just like Ethan Garbers, his brother Chase Garbers, who went to Cal, moved on to the UFL, played for the Brahmas in the UFL. The two brothers set up a legacy here at Corona Del Mar, and Brady Annette, just like his brother Caleb, who's setting up a legacy of brothers as well, once again for the Sea Kings at Boise State. The entire LaBarre Stadium is rocking on 4th down as they lead the offense out there on the field. Forsett Stecker in motion. They take the snap. Annette misses his man down the field. It's incomplete, and a turnover on downs for the Sailors.
He did take the advice and basically try a quick slant pass, but it was just a little off target. But that was a great play right there from Brady Annette. Unfortunately, just a little bit of a, I think he might have rushed it a little too much and eventually just found himself either getting rid of it or trying to quick pass it to the point where his receiver could try to take off. But either way, did not work. It backfired.
So the Sailors to break on defense as they stopped on that drive, and Spigarelli is back out there at quarterback. Spigarelli now, good pocket, steps up forward. was looking for the scramble, but he's met at the line of scrimmage and brought down to the ground.
Yeah, he was fortunate enough to get a few yards on that play. He could have easily gotten sacked, but thankfully his mobility was able to squeeze in a couple yards.
Finn Grimstad on the tackle as Spigarelli fell forward for a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. But the Sea Kings secondary has really locked up the backside on the defensive side of things and have really limited the holes for the Sailors offense. Ryan Palmer and McKibben have really not been able to find an open lane so far. Stremick in motion. It's a handoff to the running back, Takamori, up the field and able to get enough 1 yard above the chains to move the sticks.
Yeah, he almost ripped one off there, and it looks like they're going to give him the first down. The ball is at midfield, and yeah, that was precisely what Newport Harbor needed. Needed to run up the middle, get your run game going. You throw for show and run for dough.
Much of the first half of the season for the Sailors, it really was Matthew Yamakawa at the running back position, but Takamori has essentially taken that spot now ever since coming back from an injury. Operate right at midfield. Spigarelli, quick pass down towards the outer boundaries. It's Shane McKibben before being tackled by the cornerback.
Yeah, that was good precision from Spigarelli finding McKibben. And thankfully there was someone in the area to make that tackle. McKibben, he needs to have a big breakout game. He was kind of that big wide receiver one that I saw against Murrieta Mesa and I saw in passing league as well. So if there's anyone that needs a big game in terms of the receiving game, it is McKibben.
So McKibben was working on Tucker Murray, who took him down to the ground on that short gain of about 6 yards. And now it's Hudson Zanoni facing off against Shane McKibben. Top of your screen. Spigarelli with Yamakawa as Spigarelli darts one down the field. And on the flip side, McKibben, who flip sides, takes it up to about the 32-yard line.
That's it for a Newport Harbor first down.
That was a good route by McKibben, getting that first down, and he almost would have run for a little bit more, but thankfully Martin Chavez was there to make that tackle.
So the Sailors putting on a good drive here as they get another first down at the 33 and 10 for Newport. First and 10 for Pirelli. Takes the snap, holds the ball, finds Stremick on the slant as he gets taken down by the Sea Kings. Yet another first down, back-to-back.
Good on Spigarelli for finding different receivers. This time he finds Stremick, who normally is running back, but this time he's kind of played himself as a little bit of a slot receiver, which is big for Newport Harbor's offense. They need all the momentum that they can get because they're stringing together the first downs now.
So instead of kind of tricking the Sea Kings into run plays, they're doing run-pass options right now. You just saw it with Spigarelli pulling the on the initial handoff to Matthew Yamakawa. He pulled it, got it to Stremick, and now 4 wide receivers on first down and 10 from the 20. At the red zone, Spigarelli fits it right to a small pocket with Wyatt Wilson hanging on to the ball.
Yeah, it looks like Wyatt Wilson had himself a little bit of a passenger on there as Will Chavez kind of had a little bit of a piggyback ride right there.
Brings up about a gain of 4 yards on that quick end-around catch. Second down and 6. Sailors still have all 3 times. The clock is right at 3:20 seconds. Trying to get on the board.
Newport Harbor, sorry, but because Coronel Mar does get the ball to start the second half, and the difference between being down 7 and being down 14 is huge.
Spigarelli still in shotgun. Trying to find anyone free. Breaks one tackle. Takes it himself. Turns the corner. And gets immediately met just before the goal line as he's taken out of bounds.
He got truck sticked on that play, but what a run by him. He was showing no fear on that run, and that is something that Harvard needs, especially on this drive.
Spigarelli taking himself on that run play. Looks like there's an injured Sea King on the field as he sluggishly comes back up. It was Chase Kuchera.
Henry Birch on the tackle, the Sea Kings. Timeout on the field.
Coming off the field, not limping at all, so we'll probably be back in there as the athletic trainers check on him. The refs called the injury timeout anyway, so he has to come off the field regardless. But for the first time, the Sailors are right at the edge of the end zone at the 5-yard line with a chance to put the first points on the board for the Sailors. The professor trying to put on a masterclass.
That was Henry Burchard on that tackle. Big touchdown saving tackle right there.
1st and 5. It's pulled by Spigarelli as he spins and tries to reach for the end zone. Touchdown, Sailors.
What a carry by Spigarelli, showing no fear, and he just barreled into that end zone. He was determined to get Newport Harbor on the board, and that is what Newport Harbor needs.
So the Sailors put on a great drive, able to get down the field for the first time tonight and put the first points on the board. That was much needed for this Sailors offense.
Flag on the play.
Flag right before the snap.
I imagine this one might be on Newport Harbor since this one was blown dead.
Trying to figure out who made the call on that flag.
Oh, it's on Corona Del Mar. Looks like it might be 12 men on the field or illegal substitution and whatnot.
So they basically just half the distance, so right up to the 1-yard line.
This could be interesting because maybe Newport Harbor goes for it, but this is a Corona Del Mar defense that could read offense as well, and you just can't get overly aggressive. Yes, you would only be down 6, and if you were to get another score, you could possibly take the lead. But I think being a little too over-aggressive might be a thing, and that when it comes to going for 2 on this play.
Well, you've seen it yourself how a 1-point difference can change the outlook of a game. A 2023 win for the Sailors that broke the 10-year winning streak. And even the first Battle of the Bay ever in history, 13-12, was right here at Orange Coast College in 1963 in front of 5,000 fans here at Orange Coast College. 1 point can make the difference in a game.
This game is a game full of inches, yards, and mistakes.
Every decision becomes a premium in games like this. Like the Red River Rivalry, like USC versus UCLA, like the big game Stanford versus Cal. This game has been compared maybe even greater than some of those rivalries. So they're going to go for the PAT. And that hits off the post!
Oh.
And it's no good! Uncle Rico gets the doink on the posts.
Oh man, if you are Newport Harbor, that is just an unfortunate bad break right there. And not saying that going for the 2-point conversion would have been better, but that is just a heartbreaker in terms of extra points, because normally Rico nails those extra points perfectly, but this time around it is to no avail, and now Newport Harbor is in a predicament. Early predicament, but they're down 8, and Corona Del Mar gets the ball, and they also get the ball to start the second half. So defense is going to have to really answer the call here.
And who knows, we just talked about it, how 1 point can change the outlook of the game. there. Even with the assist from the Sea Kings giving them an extra yard on that PAT, Uncle Rico still ends up hitting the upper posts, and that could be the difference in this game potentially. But we'll see. Still 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first half, as the Sailors are looking to come up with another big stop against the Sea Kings. And the Sea Kings surely will likely be in a 2-minute drill on this next drive.
Plenty of time to do so, especially with all 3 of their timeouts. No, 2 of their timeouts.
Short kick. Picked up by the Sea Kings. Trying to find a seam. And finally tackled by the kicker, Uncle Rico himself. It was Jack Phillips on the return on the short kick.
It was Jack Phillips on that carry, on the return.
There is a flag at midfield.
It's first and 10. It's first and 10.
So there's a potential that this either moves forward.
Flag on the field.
If it's a
Flag on the field.
hold there against the Sea Kings, which it likely will be. It's on the Sailors.
Oh. That is
So instead of placing
penalty
it-
right there.
Instead of placing it right around the 40, it's now up to midfield.
That's perfect field position for Corona Del Mar. That's exactly what they need. Nice little return. Gets aided by a penalty. Newport Harbor just can't keep shooting themselves in the foot if they want to win this game.
So the Sea Kings will operate from midfield here, with a chance to add some more points and answer back to the touchdown that they gave up to Jordan Spigarelli running into the end zone. Bringing it with a tight formation right at midfield. Hands it off to Stecker, running behind the tackles and brought down by Cruz Marcella.
Yeah, that was a nice little hot potato pass right there. It looks like he just took the high snap and then just sprang it to Stecker, which I'm pretty sure they got to be practicing that, because you don't script that when it comes to your playbook.
Second down and 7 on a 3-yard gain for Dorset Stecker. Radionet now steps back in the pocket, was looking for a deep pass as Cameron Hatfield and Marcella, as he just chucks this one down towards the sideline, incomplete.
And that's something you gotta do as a quarterback. You just gotta throw it away. Don't take the sack. Don't throw a pick. Just throw the ball away. Live to play another down. I feel like Corona Del Mar has maybe another down left in them if they don't get this third. It all depends on what happens here.
Sailors have had 60 QB hurries throughout this short season so far. 9 sacks on their side defensively. The big thing for them, though, has been the turnover ratio on that side. The Sailors are forcing 1 turnover to their opponent's 4. And Corona Del Mar 1 for 1 this season, but the bread and butter of the Sailors defense so far this season has been those turnovers this season. 13 in total forced against the offense.
Yeah, you gotta play to your ability. You got to play clean football, especially in a game like this, because this could be make or break for either of these teams. Corona Del Mar still fighting for a Bravo League title. Newport Harbor trying to get something because they've got a 3-game gauntlet ahead of themselves, and their record against teams that are 500 or better just does not look all that great.
So on 3rd down, Annette, good time in the pocket. Almost found Stecker with 2 defenders in the vicinity, both James Callahan and Trevor Glynn. It's incomplete. There is an injured Sea King on the floor, though. It looks like one of the linemen, it's Will Harrington.
Oh, no.
The transfer from Newport Harbor. He was dealing with an injury throughout the summer previous to this season. That's a big hit for the Sea Kings if he doesn't come back.
What sucks is that this injury occurs on his birthday. Oh man, this just is not fun. It's not convenient for him and for the Sea Kings because, again, a good friend of mine, Charlie T. Gantfort, would say it best: no line, no shine. And if that line ain't shining, offensively or defensively, then the offense or defense ain't shining, period.
Bringing up Will Harrington off the floor, no helmet. He is going to be helped off the field. Limping a little bit off the turf, so hopefully he'll be okay, but a big hit here for the Sea Kings offensive line.
Looks like it might be his right knee, right leg that just does not look 100%. It looks like he needs help. It's not a pretty injury. Oh man, you gotta feel bad for the big fella. And the offensive line is basically, they're not valued until injuries like this happen.
So as he gets helped off the field, Sea Kings are now in 2-minute drill. With the 4th down now, it's 1 minute and 50 seconds, so these Newport Sailors will probably go into 2-minute drill after this punt.
They have all 3 of their timeouts.
DeBella punts it away, bit short, takes a Newport bounce, and then picked up right there by number 44, Bryce Garbett, at the 20-yard line.
All 3 timeouts remaining, 1:42 on the clock. I think this can definitely be doable for Newport Harbor, but I think they kind of got to get a touchdown here. I think it's just, I mean, it feels bad, but honestly, a touchdown just makes things a whole lot more smooth and a whole lot better.
And tonight, the Sea Kings are also kind of in a trap game scenario potentially with being undefeated. And you talk about the Sailors and what they've had to go through. Every single game they play this season has been either been determined by a touchdown score or less. And that could potentially happen. It still is within reach of 8 points, still early in this game. Spigarelli now taking a shot downfield and nearly picked off.
That was so close. That was in Will Chavez's hand. Went right off his hand. Unfortunately, he just could not haul it in. That would have been such a big play for the Sea Kings, but to no avail.
Happened a few times tonight with their secondary, that being the latest dropped interception. So the Sailors catch a break with Jackson Stremick, who was the intended receiver on that play. 2nd down and 10 with 1 minute and 37. Looks like a secondary blitz here as Spigarelli tossed it down the middle of the field. Nowhere close to Shane McKibben, incomplete.
That was kind of a dangerous pass since there were 3 Sea Kings in the vicinity versus Shane McKibben. So I don't know about that pass, but again, this is where you thread the needle and you just got to go to your hot hand receiver. So this is now put up or shut up for Newport Harbor, because if they punt this ball back, Ron Omar with 2 timeouts can definitely march down the field.
That's surely what the Sailors would not want to do here. Trying to avoid a 3 and out after getting the ball with about under 2 minutes left. 3rd down and 10, 1 minute 31. Spigarelli stepping up. Got his man. A little bit short of the line again, and the flag late as well. Shane McKibben with the catch on the sideline. We'll see what the flag is. It came right after he made the catch.
Looks like it might be on Newport. Newport Harbor, since one of the officials is coming over here. Coming over to the Sea King side.
Let's see what the call is from the head ref.
Oh, no, never mind. It is on Coronel Mar, so stand corrected.
So
That might actually be that's a personal foul on Coronel Mar. So that stops the clock, gives Newport Harbor a fresh set of downs, and it puts Newport Harbor in a much better situation.
So they're saying it was a hit to the head as Shane McKibben was going down to the ground, so unnecessary roughness, and that gives the Sailors a free down and first down gain. Spigarelli with 4 receivers sets up the screen for Yamakawa, but he's immediately met by Tucker Murray. Timeout called.
Yeah, he had to get rid of that ball quickly because there was pressure from the left side. The line has really got to start shining because Coronel Mar, they've got a lot of pressurized big boys that can cause problems for any opposing offense.
Still a fairly ideal situation for Coach Matt Burns. Even though they are down by 8 points, it's still manageable with how the rest of the game could go potentially. But if the Sailors don't get points, it feels like it might be a little bit, because like you said, CDM ball coming out of the half.
Yeah, it feels like Newport Harbor's only down 1 score, but in reality, it feels like they're down by way more than that. It feels like they're down 3 scores. So touchdowns are so essential here, because eventually they're going to want to go for 2 to try to rewrite the wrong that happened on that missed extra point.
Their defense has only allowed 109 yards per game. Their lowest amount of yards given up was against Green Mountain from Colorado. 9 yards total against that squad at San Juan Hills. Spigarelli dancing around the pocket, flicks it, and got his man for a short gain. It was Yamakawa with the catch.
Yeah, that was some interesting innovation because that stops the clock right there. And that's just kind of like that Houdini move right there, just flipping it. It's normally something you would see in the NFL from certain quarterbacks.
Newport still has 2 timeouts, but they do need to get another first down if they want to keep that drive alive and maybe potentially take a few deep shots just before the half. The entire home side of the Sea Kings getting loud and rocking the stands as Spigarelli takes a deep shot. Wide open, overthrown his man, Shane McKibben. He had a touchdown.
Oh my goodness. If he had a little bit more time in the pocket, he probably would have put that perfectly. And maybe McKibben could have had a step further on that pass. But now it is interesting play time right here for Newport Harbor. It looks like they're going to punt, so it looks like they don't want to roll the dice. Don't want to risk possibly missing out on the 4th down and giving the ball back to Coronel Mar because this is just a precarious situation for Newport Harbor. Can't afford to give the opposing team more points.
Rico will send it away. Pretty good punt. Rolls right in front of Garrett James. And it takes a Newport bounce. And they'll be stuck right inside the 8-yard line of their own. With 29 seconds left in the first half, they would have to go very quickly on this play. But let's go back to that play to Shane McKibben. He had beaten down the field Will Chavez on blown coverage. And if he caught that and that ball was a little bit less, with some air less under that ball, it would have been a walk-in touchdown for McKibben.
Absolutely, and also Spigarelli, if he had a little bit more time, he could have put that perfectly on the dot for McKibben, and like you said, could have been an easy walk-in touchdown. Fortunately, it was to no avail, so it's interesting to see what Coronel Mar will do. It looks like they're not going to go for the kneel down. Maybe they can score something within 29 seconds.
So Brady Net will take the snap, and it's just a simple handoff there for Kuchera as he gets a few yards. So it seems like the Sea Kings are going to elect to run the clock out and conserve it. Garrett James and Dorset Stecker are waving at Coach Heddick saying, hey, let's go get this score with this amount of time left. But Coach Heddick is not letting up as the clock is going to run down in the first half. With the Sea Kings holding on to the lead, they'll get the ball back to start the third quarter.
And in the first half, your first number 14, Newport Harbor Steelers.
Both teams will head to the locker rooms, and it's been a fairly close game, but every yard seems like it's had to be at a premium. Exactly.
Absolutely, Justin. We've seen some great moments from both sides, but the Sailors head into the break trailing as they need to make some key adjustments in that second half on both sides of the ball.
It is halftime here in Orange Coast College. Right now, the Sea Kings up 14-6. We'll see what they make adjustments for with Coach Matt Burns going into the locker room. Still plenty of football left to play, and you can feel the energy in the building for what's sure to be an exciting second half. We'll catch you after the short break as we get to halftime here at Dick Tucker Field.
Every fall, the city comes alive for one night. A rivalry that's bigger than a game. It's a tradition. We don't play for ourselves. We play for everyone who wore this jersey before us. It's more than Newport versus CDM. It's pride. It's history. It's the Bay. We've been preparing all year. Every rep, every snap. From this moment, Battle of the Bay, it's earned, not given. This is Newport Harbor. This is Tar TV Sports. This is Battle of the Bay.
Welcome back to Dick Tucker Field. We're getting ready for kickoff here in the second half of the Battle of the Bay. The Sea Kings lead 14-6 at the moment. The big story of today so far has been Jordan Spigarelli so far in how he's been able to operate this offense. Very different thus far, Darren.
Absolutely, and Jordan Spigarelli knew that his moment was about to come soon, and I think that he has performed well for the most part. Could have cleaned the things up a little bit, but this is his first start. We can give him a few passes on that.
Well, we'll see how things go here in the second half. The Sea Kings just received the ball. They're getting prepared here. The Sailors need to get back in this for sure, Taryn.
Absolutely. Newport Harbor needs to dial in. They got to lock in the rest of the way, especially since their offense has just not been able to be as explosive as we all thought it would be. So Newport Harbor really has to cross their T's and dot their I's. At least they got something right in terms of not kicking it to Tucker Murray, because that's the last man you want to kick it to.
The difference so far has been Brady Annette's pass to Garrett James in the first half and that rushing touchdown for 26 yards by Kuchera. And a handoff here to start on the first drive for the Sea Kings. Trayshawn Nixon gets the carry, brings it up for about 2 yards on the first play into the second half.
Yeah, again, Newport Harbor will need to be very cautious of Colonel Elmar's run game. They have a legit run game. They have a two-headed monster. And heck, even Brady Annette can take off himself. We've seen it a few times. We haven't seen it all that much. Again, you just don't want to get your quarterback dinged up for the future games, which could include playoffs.
Second down and 8. The Sailors had a big stop earlier in the second quarter with turnover on downs. As he tries to pinpoint this pass, there is a flag for potentially what might be pass interference on Luke Garrido working on Garrett James.
Yeah, James Callahan was draped all over Garrett James, and I think there was a lot of contact right there. So unfortunately, that's going to be PI any day.
Generally, the rule on that spot is if you're not playing the ball, then almost instantly the refs will bring out that yellow laundry onto the field. And there is Luke Garrido getting the explanation from the line judge right there. So this moves him up, gives him the free first down. And now they're at the 37-yard line of the Sea Kings. We talked about this earlier. If they didn't get a score towards the end of that first half for the Sailors, then this might be tough if the Sea Kings do indeed come here and score on this first drive coming into the third quarter.
All it takes is one really good drive to really make a defense pay.
Annette hands off to Nixon, going to the outside gap and took a hit from the side as Marcelo was wrapping up, and Baranowski there as well. Just a short gain.
Yeah, Nixon, I think, maybe got tripped up a little and maybe lost his footing. If not, he kind of breaks that for a little bit of a big run. And thankfully for Newport Harbor, they had someone in the vicinity to make that tackle. Otherwise, Nixon could be off to the races and maybe a little more.
Second down and 7 after Nixon's run. Brady Annette with a lot of time, takes it down the field. Big wide open shot, trips it in the bucket for Garrett James.
is what Garrett James does. Creates separation, runs the route perfectly, and gets open for Brady Annette's pass. Even with two defenders entouraging him, he's able to make that catch. This is just what a great receiver does.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns against San Juan Hills, 84 yards, and he's looking for a second one here after the huge play into Newport territory. And now Annette fakes the handoff, rolling out to his right. Baranowski right in his face, and he finds the tight end, Ryan Herrera, who gets down close to the goal line. He'll be just about half an inch short of the goal line.
Yeah, Ethan Ambat saved a touchdown right there, but Ryan Herrera with a great catch right there. Corona Elmore is well known for having some good tight ends, and I think that even with the graduation of Giuliano and whatnot, I think Corona Elmore just has a lot of those big boys that can make some big catches.
So first and goal for the Sea Kings after another big play for Herrera. Annette rolls out to his left, throws it up top, and it's in and out of the hands of Herrera in the back of the end zone, incomplete, with a little bit of work there by Bill Hancock on the back end.
Might have been a little bit of a commentator's jinx right there, just because I said they've got a lot of big boys that can make some big catches. Unfortunately, that tight end for Corona Del Mar just could not haul that one in. It was a great drawn-up play, though, and Annette just has so much time in the pocket to use his legs to eventually find the open receiver. And more often than not, Annette's hitting that pass 9 times out of 10.
The Sailors want 3 points at the minimum. Do not want to give up 7 points here. Second down, a flip to Stecker. He will be met by a sea of Sailors. Glenn and Ambat right there to take down Stecker as they push him back for a tackle for loss.
Great read on that play for Newport Harbor. Annette obviously wanted to get the ball away quickly to Stecker, but to his credit, but to the credit of Newport Harbor's defense, they just read that perfectly.
So 3rd and 3 and a little bit of conversation time for Brady Annette. It would be a great deal of help here for the Sailors if they can limit this to just a field goal. The Sea Kings have gone it on 4th down before, missed on a 4th down attempt earlier as they shift everyone out. Bunches formation up top.
For CDM.
Annette looking for his second option, will try to call his own number, and he's met by the Sailors again, and the ball was out for the moment, and the Sailors have given a gift right to them.
Oh my goodness. It was 1st and goal at the 1, and then Newport Harbor's defense just answers the call, gets a takeaway, the first takeaway of the game, and this is just massive for the Sailors.
What a goal line stand from Newport Harbor instead of the minimum 3 points. What a way to get 0 points on the board for the Sea Kings after they went almost lightning fast down the field with Garrett James and both Trayshawn Nixon and everyone else, including Ryan Herrera, on that drive. And the hero, it seems like, was Trevor Glenn, who had the ball in his hands to recover that fumble. That's the 14th turnover that the Sailors defense have forced this season.
To quote an old broadcast friend of mine, to quote the Alex Crawford, who was part of the TAR TV broadcasting for Newport Harbor football, welcome to TAR ball. The defense bends, but it does not break. And that was the case right there. They got a long way to go to get the touchdown.
It's a handoff. Looks like Takamori with the carry. Fairly good gain, about 2 yards. Spigarelli's trying to get his offense out of the back of this side as the turnover or the fumble recovery has them in a dangerous spot. So trying to get that ball out of the danger zone. 2nd and 7.
What Newport Harbor has dialed up in its playbook this time around. It's going to be a long trip to try to get to the end zone.
Spigarelli takes it Takes a shot downfield, and it is picked off right before it can get to his intended receiver.
Yeah, on that play, Cash Pearsall was just draped all over the receiver, Ryan Palmer, and Palmer just had his back turned, so unfortunately for Newport Harbor, they just give the ball back to Colonel Omar. Still in Sailor territory, just felt like a short arm punt if you're a silver lining Sailor at this point. But now Newport Harbor, they're working so hard to force that fumble in the red zone. They just give it all back to the opposing team.
A bit of a gamble on that throw too, with Jordan Spigarelli tossing it down the field. It was a 50-50 ball in all. Cash Pearsall now has 2 interceptions in 2 games. He had 1 pick last week. And the Mater Dei and Orange Lutheran transfer, who spent 2 years here in Corona Del Mar, has been making an impact so far this season with now his 3rd interception of the year.
Let's see how Corona Del Mar responds after forcing that turnover and how they respond after turning the ball over themselves. Just feels like this gets a little bit dicey for Newport Harbor if they just can't prevent a stop or if they give up a touchdown.
First down for the Sea Kings. It will be a handoff with nearly a big hole there for Chase Kuchera before he got tripped up by one of the Sailors' defenders. Looks like it was Owen Baldakowski who tripped him up before he could get past the secondary line.
That was a good run from Kuchera. Gotta feed the hot hand. I mean, I know Nixon is a great runner, but Kuchera just seems to be that running back one by committee. And honestly, I think he just checks off a lot of the boxes as a rough runner. And he had a big game against Trabuco Hills.
Radiant with a high snap, play action. Marcella just flips it in the dirt for his intended receiver, Garrett James, incomplete. Marcelo with pressure there.
Yeah, he was running out of time, and you saw the Sailors were swarming to him, so he had to pretty much make a quick play out of that, but it was just too low, and it was to no avail. So I imagine we could be seeing a quarterback keeper from Annette, if not a handoff to either running back. Unless Newport Harbor stacks the box, but if they stack the box, then you could see Annette just roll out, throw it to a receiver, and then just run for first down and then some.
So 3rd and 1 now. The Sailors looking to try to get another massive stop. 2 turnovers in a row in just the last 2 minutes, as it was initially met at the line there by Kuchera, but he's able to reach for the first down as he gets 2 yards out of that run, moves the sticks.
And that's the safe play to go for. Just hand it off to your hot hand running back. Just get the first down. If not, you could always try. I feel this Corona Del Mar, that would have been 4 down territory regardless. And heck, they had a lot of playbooks for 3rd and 1.
All the momentum in the world right now, and Radiant looks much cleaner this season than what he did last year. We talked about it in the first half. Annette, 101 yards, 3 interceptions, but 2 rushing touchdowns, and a deep shot as he misses it. Garrett James intended as well. They are really picking on Luke Garrido there on the outside corner spot, including Trevor Glynn.
Yeah, that was a good drawn-up play right there from Annette. He obviously tried to feed it to James. Like I said, great route runner. Unfortunately, that ball was just a little bit step behind him, and to the dismay of Corona Del Mar, it's an incompletion.
It's a bit surprising so far. We haven't really seen a lot of pinpoint passes like we saw him do against the Stallions a week ago. A lot of deep shots right now, but a few off the mark. But we've seen a few beautiful balls to Garrett James thus far. It set him up earlier on the last drive inside Newport territory. But on 2nd down and 10, can they do it again? Annette this time goes underneath to Garrett James, and Garrido's there to tackle him before he could try to break. It's a good gain and now a manageable 3rd Kings.
Yeah, this time Annette decided to go with a little bit of a shorter pass instead of going for the home run ball. As I've said in past broadcasts, you sometimes have to go for the singles before you can hit the home run. So
Brady Annette now, 3rd and 4. Another situation here for the Newport Harbor Tars to get a stop. Looks like they're rolling man coverage. 4-man rush, wide open seam for Kuchera. Flags all over the field as he's finally brought down by Ethan Ambat. This might be coming back.
It's holding. Again, as I've said previously, if there's a lot of time and a lot of space, you know it's holding on the offense. And again, you gotta show them a little love. I mean, they don't mean to hold and cost a big first down and whatnot. So give Corona more credit on trying to dice up the run game and try to penetrate, get the first down and then some. But unfortunately, they got their hand caught in the cookie jar.
It looks like it was called an Eddie Susulik at that right tackle side of the offensive line, who was called for it as he was asking the refs what exactly happened there. And do keep in mind, remember Will Harrington, who came out with an injury halfway through the second quarter, has not returned yet. So another piece to that offense that could be a chink in the armor. So Annette now with 3rd and long. A lot of time in the pocket. And right there was Trevor Glenn working on Dorset Stecker with a great coverage. That pass was not close enough. And oh boy, that does not look good. Ethan Ambat is holding onto that hamstring on the floor.
Oh, yeah. On that previous play, you did see Dorset Stecker. There was a little contact with him and Ethan Ambat, but nothing too flag-worthy. But, oh, man, Ethan Ambat is one of the anchors for this Newport Harbor defense. Made the game-clinching interception last year. He's jogging off all in his own power, but heaven knows if he's going to be back in the game.
Could potentially be a cramp too as well. It's not entirely hot down on the field tonight. 64 degrees is the temperature here at the stadium. Ethan Ambat has been a big contributor at that safety spot. 54 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 passes defended. And yes, you talked about that big key interception from last year. That's a big important piece, and hopefully they can try to bring it back out. But because of his presence there on that play, he forced a bad pass from Brady Annette, and now 4th down for the Sea Kings. Short punt situation as DeBella rolls it down, and it just a knuckler bouncing right at the 18-yard line. So the Sailors will be set up in a little better spot than the previous drive after they recovered that fumble.
And that's a big win for Newport Harbor. They turned the ball over, unfortunately, but then they were able to force a punt from the opposing team. And that's something you just got to take, you can't take for granted. And Newport Harbor on this drive, they just can't take that for granted.
Something great about the Sailors this week was with Ryan O'Donnell, their equipment manager, who's been there for 35 years. They celebrated his anniversary by giving him a new e-bike so he could get around the city of Newport. And if you want to talk about community, that's great community outcalling when you support your equipment manager who's been there for forever. 1st and 10 for the Sailors. Handoff to Yamakawa, gets a gain of about 3 on the first play of this drive.
All right, for Newport Harbor, this drive might be super valuable and precious to them. They have to get some sort of success. Even if it's just 3 points, that can kind of go a long way. But I think they're thinking touchdown because in an 8-point game, in a low defensive scoring slugfest, you need all the points that you can get because this has kind of been the case last year and the previous year. I just feel like this game could kind of be one of those old school Big Ten football games.
This crowd is comparable to some big games that have been played today. A quick check down by Jordan Spigarelli. It was intended for Jackson Stremick, but it was on the floor. Incomplete. Will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I get the idea of trying to pass it to Jackson Stremick, but unfortunately he couldn't hold on. So unfortunately it's an incompletion, and again, this is the big money down. Newport Harbor has to have it because I don't see a playbook for them going forward on 4th down unless it's like 4th and inches.
And you'd imagine that Coach Matt Burns would try to go with a little bit of some trickeration here on this play. See a little bit of creativity, so we'll see as the Sea Kings and the Kings crew get up on their feet on 3rd down and 5. Spigarelli with a man right there to meet him in the backfield. Alexander Nicken with the sack.
Oh my God, that was just flashing beneath your eyes right there when it came to that sack. And that's a massive play for the no-name defense from Corona Del Mar, and just another bad break for Newport Harbor. Again, in a game where points are very scarce, Newport needs all the points, all the first down that they can get. But now it's Corona Del Mar's turn as they have the hot knife that'll be cutting through butter.
Alexander Nicken with his 2nd sack of the season came at a great time. A massive loss there as the Sailors are forced to punt. Fair catch made right there. Jack Phillips with the fair catch, and the Sea Kings are set up at the 45-yard line of Newport. It's becoming a game of field position right now.
Field position is always big for both of these teams right here. It seems like Newport Harbor just can't get out of their own territory, and Corona Del Mar, they are in the Sailors' territory, and this is ideal for them, but they just haven't been executing all that well. But they have a chance to rewrite those wrongs with this drive right here.
Give a lot of credit to the Sailors so far. Not a lot of rushing yards given up besides that one rushing touchdown by Kuchera with 26 yards. They usually give up 155 yards a gain. This is an RPO as Trayshawn Nixon breaks a few tackles and goes up for about 9 yards, close to the first down marker.
That's good to give Trayshawn Nixon a little bit of confidence right there when it comes to running the ball. I think he is a fantastic running back. Complements Kuchera well. Corona Del Mar might have the best running duo in maybe the Bravo League, if not maybe the county, to an extent.
Jacob Meyer was there initially, missed the tackle as Brady Annette goes on another RPO. Great coverage by Garrido working on J.J. Haley. Incomplete pass forces another 3rd down.
That was Luke Garrido on the coverage. Luke Garrido on the coverage.
Sailors
right
have
there.
been giving themselves a lot of chances, and they have another chance to force a 4th down situation where they were set up at the 45-yard line. And then Kuchera had that 9-yard run. They're about 1 yard, 2 yards away from the first down marker. Annette trying to cause the defensive line to jump. He pulls the ball, throws it deep down the field. Out of bounds as he just laid one up there. Ryan Palmer in the vicinity. And now it is 4th down once again.
I think that kind of was a little bit of a panic pass right there. He saw the pressure coming, which is a little bit of a rarity just because Corona Del Mar, even though they don't have Will Harrington, they do a very good job of protecting Brady Annette. So this is obviously 4 down territory since they're in the Sailors territory, and expect some sort of run play. Maybe Annette fakes the handoff, carries it for himself to get the first down. I smell a lot of trickery from the Seeking team.
So they're set up with the offense. A tight end in the formation. Stecker in motion. Trevor Glenn matches it. It is a handoff. And Trayshawn Nixon fights for the hard yards. There was also looked like what was a fumble on the ground. But regardless, CDM gets the first down with Nixon.
Corona Del Mar needed that first down, and they got it, and that is a massive relief for them, especially since they needed to keep their drive going. They couldn't afford to give Newport Harbor any good field position.
This has really been a war of attrition by both teams so far. Ever since that first half, CDM kind of came out the doors flying. Newport really hasn't been able to put on a drive minus the one from that second quarter. Every yard coming at a premium as Stecker gets the check down, makes a few men miss, finally tripped up by Ryan Palmer, who's taking over right now for the injured Ethan Ambat.
It looks like Ambat's actually back on the field.
Oh, there's another injury on the field.
I think that might be Ambat again.
Yep, it is Ambat indeed. So he was on the field, he came back on the floor again, and this time it's the other leg.
Hoping that's nothing more than a cramp for Ethan Ambat.
Ambat's certainly going to need some bananas. I'm not sure they have any on that sideline over there. But you know the famous saying, monkeys never a cramp.
Well, looks
Good
like he's
sign
up and walking under his own power.
Yeah, that's a good sign for Ambat to be back up on his feet. There's been a lot of close games this week. The most surprising one this week was Santa Margarita beating Mater Dei 7-6, with Santa Margarita getting that late touchdown.
Off the Wildcat from Trent Mosley, snapping an 11-game losing streak to the Monarchs. Quite the fascinating game right there. Carson Palmer, I can see those jersey sales going up, whether it's at USC or Arizona Cardinals or Raiders or Bengals.
So here's Annette handing it off right to Trayshawn Nixon. He's met by two Sailors. Sebastian Perez.
Yeah, that was a good no-gain defensive stop for Newport Harbor. That was very well read. Now this puts Corona Del Mar in a very interesting third down. Got a lot of options here. Could try to throw a short pass. Maybe they got all the receivers. One receiver who we haven't really called the name of is J.J. Haley. He has been dynamite, but Newport Harbor has kind of took him out of the equation.
Brady Net on 3rd and 6. Another third down on this drive. Stecker in motion. There's a flag.
Uh-oh. Looks like it's a false start. Now it goes from 3rd and medium to 3rd and long. And that's something you can't do in a game like this. You cannot be behind the chains. Let's see if that alters Corona Del Mar's game plan, which it probably should, considering they'll most likely pass this one. Unless Annette keeps it for himself and tries to get the first down, which he did get a first down earlier in the first half.
The Sailors catch a small break as the Sea Kings back up 5 yards. 3rd and 11 now. And the Sailors get off the field. Brady Annette, good time in the pocket pressure. Looks like it could have been holding, and almost a pinpoint pass as he stomped on stride. J.J. Haley with the intended target, and another miss there. There's another Sailor in the end zone on the floor right now. It's Ambat again.
Ooh,
as he just scooches out of the end zone there.
Man, Ambat is one ambitious guy. Hopefully it's just cramping, but he is just scooching those hamstrings like he is a doll.
There was some holding on that play right there on the line, and I believe it was Baranowski who wanted the holding. Didn't get it, but into double coverage, incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
So this is interesting for Corona Del Mar. It's 4th and long. You don't want to give the ball back, but at the same time, you have the offense to basically score or at least get the first down if need be.
Down and 11. It looks like the
Fourth down and 11 yards to go. Seeking pursuit punt formation.
Looks like
punt here, low snap, low kick. Sea Kings going after the ball, and it will roll down to the 2-yard line. And as the clock expires in the third quarter, it's fourth down quarter time here at Dick Tucker Field. So as we take a little short break here, we're going to send it down to Kira Kirby down on the sidelines to get a few analysis. Kira, what's up?
This is Kira Kirby on the sidelines, just checking in, letting you know it was Ethan Ambat who was down with an injury a couple plays ago. Ethan has been a critical player for the Newport Harbor's defense. He's been really on his game this season. We're waiting to see if it's something serious or hopefully he'll be back in the game soon. We know fourth quarter is here and it's gonna get even more intense. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Kira. And yeah, like she was talking about, Ethan Ambat, who has been struggling with that injury. We saw the right leg of that hamstring earlier and then a couple of cramps, but hopefully he's okay because they're going to need him, right, Taryn?
Yeah, absolutely. You just can't afford to lose a great player like him, especially in a close game like this. So I'm hoping for Newport Harbor's sake and for Ambat's sake that this is nothing more than a cramp and whatnot. So hopefully for Ambat, it's nothing more than just a little bit of a cramp.
Well, we're into the fourth quarter now. It's still fairly close, and it's pretty much anyone's game at this point. The Sailors, after the punt by Corona Del Mar, are stacked up in the bone formation to start off here in the fourth quarter as they're trying to get out of their own end zone. There's stoppage here, though, because the game clock is not set for the fourth quarter with 12 minutes on that clock right now. Now it is. And there's a timeout called by Coach Kevin Heddick, who was trying to put some substitutions onto the field.
So back to that punt, it looked like it was going to be a big disaster as the ball kind of bounced toward a net, but then he was able to get it off. It was low enough and eventually had a great bounce to the point where it eventually fluttered near the end zone. And Corona Del Mar just had themselves a nice little maneuver right there. Looked like it was going to be disastrous, but then they were able to turn nothing into something. And now Newport Harbor is going to need a long drive.
There's been some very special moments in this game over the years. Some of the best ones. You look at the history of this game. Some of the fun ones as well. 1989, the Newport Harbor Boosters served champagne. In the 1990 game, there was a prank pulled by Corona Del Mar when they put manure, tar, and spray paint on the whole quad. Massive damages in that, but this is exactly what this game means to this city. The bone formation on the way. Baranowski gets the carry as he dives forward, trying to get them out of the danger zone. Moves it just about a yard, it seems like.
It's like he got some yards. Didn't get too much, if anything.
They're in an extremely dangerous spot still, even though the short gain. Once again, the Sailors are going into that same bone formation. Second down and 10. There was no gain on that last play. They flip it the other way, and rolling out is Spigarelli. And making the catch his intended receiver, Bill Hancock.
Oh man, that flag occurred in the end zone, so hoping for Newport Harbor's sake, it's not on them. Ooh, it's holding on defense, so obviously that penalty is going to be declined, and Newport Harbor gets the first down.
That's a good sign there for the Sailors, as Bill Hancock, they did the end around. We've seen that before with that play. Jet Blaukamp was involved in that play early on in the season when the Sailors were facing off against Murrieta Mesa. And now the Sailors are out of danger zone. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line of their own. Spigarelli dumps it off to Takamori, and Takamori goes out of bounds right in front of the Sailors sideline.
Sometimes you just need those little check downs just to get those chunk yards, because those chunk yards eventually add up and stack up and eventually get you into a rhythm, get you some good plays, and keep the drive going to the point where you get some points going. Because Newport Harbor, they still got a ways to go to reach that end zone. And again, points are so precious in this game that's low scoring.
2nd down and 8, every yard at a premium. Spigarelli in the shotgun. Takes a snap, play action. Missed the first man.
Oh.
Went with the second option and missed him high. Ryan Palmer, the intended receiver.
On that coverage was Cannon Cook, as if it weren't for him, maybe Palmer has himself a first down and a little more, just because he was the closest one in the vicinity right there. So good play by Cook, and it's now 3rd and fairly long for the Sailors.
Another serious situation here for the Sailors. The Sea Kings, they get the ball back, they can run this clock down as much as they want to, but the Sailors defense has given them ample opportunities in this second half so far, which has really flown by. Here into the 4th quarter, 3rd and 8. Sea Kings on their feet. Spigarelli, good pocket. Met initially and could not get out of the pocket in time to scramble out as the Sea Kings meet him right behind the crowd of Sailors offensive linemen. It will be 4th down on the sack.
Oh man, you just got to get that pass off. I mean, I know the Corona Del Mar defense was just swarming all over him, but you just have to find a way to get yourself out of that end zone or pretty much out of your own territory. And Newport Harbor just is not winning the territory battle, and this is a sign of concern just because they need all the points that they can get, because this is a low-scoring slugfest, and this 14 points could be enough at this point for Corona Del Mar.
Punt on the way by Daniel Rico, and fair catch by Dorset Stecker right around the 47-yard line. And fairly good positioning here for the Sea Kings. So the Sea Kings now pretty much have a chance to try to put this game away, because so far we just really haven't seen the Sailors be able to put on a single solid drive thus far, as the Sea Kings with that one interception earlier in the game, and the only touchdown of this game coming from Jordan Spigarelli's rush to the end zone.
And this is a big stand for Newport Harbor. They really need to get a big stop here. They just can ill afford another score from Corona Del Mar.
Brady Annette pulls and throws downfield, and pinpoint accuracy with the catch. It's his tight end, Brian Herrera, on the receiving end once again.
Oh, and that was just great route running right there, and great precision from Brady Annette. Faked the handoff and just eventually found his man for the first down.
Ryan Herrera only had 2 receptions coming into this game. Now he has 2 big plays in his pocket. And now the Sea Kings close into the red zone side. Bunch formation, top side of your screen. It's a handoff to Kuchera, who could not find an open hole, brought down on a short gain.
Going back to that last play, that was a massive play, and I think Ryan Herrera might be the new Zach Giuliano from last year and the year before. So I think Corona Del Mar has found their new tight end 1 by committee.
Ryan Herrera was the only tight end to have 2 receptions or more coming into this game. Asher Rotha has only had 1 reception this season, and most of their receivers have been the reliable Garrett James, J.J. Haley, and Dorset Stecker for that matter. As Brady Annette, play action pass, pressure from behind, and brought down to the ground. Owen Baldakowski for the sack.
Baldakowski using that bull rush speed right there. That is huge. That might have been maybe the 2nd sack of the day, if my math serves me correct, because he was not ready to run that ball. He was ready to throw it, and Baldakowski just got to him. And now it's 3rd and long for Corona Del Mar, and this is where things get fascinating for the Sailors and the Sea Kings.
It's been very interesting the way that the Sea Kings have decided to attack this Newport Harbor team. Newport Harbor has only been giving up 112 passing yards per game this season, so that secondary has really been able to hold things down against the opponents that they've seen this season. And because of that secondary, then the pass rush can get to him, and that's exactly what Owen Baldakowski was able to do. And now 3rd down and long, whistle's blown. There's a flag behind him for a delay of game.
That is something you just can't do if you're Corona Del Mar, because that makes it 3rd and 20.
Play of game.
There's not too many playbooks for 3rd and 20 unless they want to.
Up in the Newport Harbor, and Corona Del Mar just really haven't been able to get the ball in the end zone, but they have had the big plays. It's just a matter of them getting into the end zone. Annette now will take it himself, and a wide open seam. Breaks Baranowski, breaks another tackle, stays on his feet before finally being taken down by Baldakowski, and what a run by Brady Annette as he gets the 1st down and able to move the chains.
Oh, man, that is just an uncharacteristic error right there. It kind of reminds you of the whole Ray Rice thing. Hey, diddle, diddle. Brady Annette up the middle. He gets the 1st down and then some. And, oh, man, if you're a Newport Harbor defense, you're going to be looking back on that film and just scratching your head. Why did we not make that tackle?
A completely wide open hole over the middle of the field with man-on-man coverage. And now the Sea Kings inside the 10 as they hand it off to Kuchera, runs into a wall before being thrown down to the ground by Jagger Danoon.
Now this is a very precarious situation for Newport Harbor. And for Corona Del Mar, 3 points, again, could be enough to try to ice this game away. Because I could see Corona Del Mar just icing the clock away, giving Newport Harbor no time to basically maneuver, and Newport Harbor may want to start thinking about using their timeouts if push comes to shove, even though this is goal line territory.
Right around 6 minutes left in the game. Newport does have all their 3 timeouts. Brady Annette, though, the Sailors defense have held on a few goal line stands. We saw one earlier in that 3rd quarter. As he goes the other way, hands it off to Stecker. Stecker couldn't go too far with Baranowski with the initial touch. And then finally, Sebastian Perez finishes off the job, limiting another short gain. 3rd down and goal. They're 5 yards away now from the end zone.
And that's a great play right there by Corona Del Mar, running that run play. Make sure that Newport Harbor's defense gets gassed and keep the clock rolling. Last thing you need is an incompletion, which eventually stops the clock and gives Newport Harbor some life. So if you're Corona Del Mar, you keep on bleeding the clock.
So 3rd and 5, maybe the biggest stand here for the Sailors. Can they get off the field? Hand it off to Kuchera, and he gets through the line into the end zone, touchdown.
And that might be the dagger unless Newport Harbor puts 2 + 2 together offensively, because Corona Del Mar was obviously going to run that play. But with Annette, you just never know with him. But Corona Del Mar kept it simple and basic, and now they have a 14-point lead, soon to be 15, with the extra point on deck.
DeBella on for the extra point, and the hole is now deeper as the Sea Kings are getting ready to potentially storm this field. Small tip on that PAT, but it's good regardless. 21-6, still a 2-touchdown game, but time is running down on the clock.
Yeah, now this is basically going to be pass for the most part for Newport Harbor. They just can't afford to lose out on precious time. They do have all 3 of their timeouts, but honestly, this is now a very precarious situation if you're Newport Harbor. And your offense really has to wake up here, because if not, that Mariners Telegraph will be heading to the other side of the bay.
Feels like a lot of the time tonight that the Sailors defense have really given them a lot of good chances, but that time you can only give so much until something's about to give. Something had to give on that side for the Sailors on defense, and now the offense has a bigger task now to try to get back into this game. Still within reach, and we've seen crazier things happen. If you've watched Newport football this season, and if you know this game itself, nothing is ever over until those clocks hit 0.
Ooh, it's a roller. They went for an onside-er.
They tried a squibble kick, and
that barely took any time off the clock. So now Newport Harbor, that's pretty good field position for what it's worth. That might be the best field position it's got to start.
It's a little risky there by the Sea Kings, and DeBella and Coach Kevin Hennig doing something a little different. But how about Golden Balikowski having that recognition to be able to go get that ball before it could roll past him? Saves the time and also puts them in very good field position, like you said.
And the fact that they decided to go for onside and Newport Harbor was ready for it is very good recognition on the Sailors' part. Now it's just all a matter of crossing the T's and dotting their I's in terms of their offense.
Spigarelli on 1st down. Really a lot of time in the pocket. Taking a deep shot. McKibben is there. There was a little bit of contact, but a little too out far in front of him. And another incompletion on a throw that McKibben could have had. It's been a few times tonight that McKibben has been overthrown, and he almost had a walk-in touchdown earlier in the game.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Tucker Murray. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be heck with it. Shane McKibben's down there somewhere. If not, try to get Ryan Palmer involved. Try to get Ryan Palmer or Wyatt Wilson involved. Don't be one-dimensional with your receivers. You've got other receivers to try to get you some yards and some first downs.
Desperation time for the Sailors as blitz is shown for rush. Spigarelli stepping up. Got his man Ty Ditto with his 2nd reception of the year. Gets the first down.
And that's big right there, because if I recall correctly, that does stop the clock because Chain Gang has to move and he went out of bounds. So that's a big first down from Ditto.
Legends have come famous overnight in this game. Ty Ditto just made a big play there to get the chains moving. Under 5 minutes now in the game. Spigarelli had pressure in his face and overthrows his receiver. It was available for Ryan Palmer, but didn't see it in time. They're a high point the ball, and it goes out of bounds regardless.
Yeah, at the very least, Newport Harbor's getting all their receivers involved. They need to get Ryan Palmer involved. He has been very quiet, as well as the likes of Wyatt Wilson. He's had a couple catches right there and then, but Newport Harbor this is crunch time for them. They really have to get it together, or else it's over.
2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Spigarelli, man coverage, 4-man rush, stepping up, taking a deep shot, and great defense and a flag for pass interference on the defender.
Oh no. Pass interference is what is most likely going to be the call. Even though it looked like Tucker Murray got a hand on the ball, it just felt like it was just a little too much contact. But we shall see what the official call is.
It was Hudson Zanoni, the culprit on that penalty. Shea McKibben, the intended receiver, and Zanoni reached over, didn't exactly look back at the ball, so potentially the refs were thinking because he draped his hands over his shoulder, then because he didn't look back, the back judge decided that's a penalty on that play. So a big call there on that throw gives him the 1st down right at the 31-yard line of the Sea Kings. Sailors need a touchdown and more. And right before the snap, looks like a timeout called. It's Coach Heddick calling that timeout.
And that leaves Corona Del Mar with 1 timeout, which doesn't really mean too much. I mean, Newport Harbor is the one that needs to preserve their timeouts. They also need to preserve time as well, so both are a big factor, and time is not on the Sailor side.
This game coming very close to that same score from last year when the Sailors on the flip side won 21-14 about a year ago. They came into that game 2-4. CDM came in 3-3. Every single year when this game happens, it's always never about the record. It's always take that record, throw it out the door. The Sailors trying to make a massive upset against the Sea Kings here tonight. That task and that list a little far out in front. Can they pull off the upset? The last time the Sea Kings were undefeated in this game, 2011, Newport Harbor was 0-2 into this game, and they beat Corona Del Mar 29-26. Can they replicate it here once again?
And with all the upset that we've had, don't be surprised if we see something crazy here regarding Newport Harbor.
Something interesting to note about too from earlier. Remember the doink off the field goal post earlier in the game by Daniel Rico? Those field goal posts are actually in the college position where the high school ones should be at 23 feet. The college ones are at 18 feet. They're right now in that college distance, but if it was at that high school distance, that PAT would have been good, and we'd be at 21-7 right now.
Good little fun fact right there.
Spigarelli, 5-man rush, avoids the sack, takes it upfield on himself for the scramble, and instead of losing yardage, gets a short gain. Nothing wrong with that play there for the professor.
Positive yards, you need all the yards you can get, especially with the time winding down.
Spigarelli approaching 4 minutes left in the game. Backing up, taking a shot, and dribbled down on the floor by Shane McKibben. It's 3rd down and 7 now.
This is the money down here for Newport Harbor. This is 4-down territory regardless. Field goal is certainly not going to do you any good. Newport Harbor has to come up big. Fortunately, that incomplete pass, and I say that loosely, actually stops the clock, which gives Newport Harbor some time to maneuver, kind of slows down the flow, Joe, when it comes to this, but it gets very, very dicey.
Essentially, what could be the game right here on this down, unless they go for it on 4th down, which they will have to regardless. 3rd and 7 at the 28. Big Early takes the snap. Good pocket. Gets hit as he throws and nearly picked off at the 20-yard line. And boy, have we seen a lot of those tonight from the Corona Del Mar defenders. Nolan Scott would have had his first interception of the year and would have sealed the game for the Sea Kings essentially.
This is pretty much for the game right there, and thankfully for Newport Harbor, Scott just could not hold on to that ball, but it's now 4-down territory, and this is basically do or die for Newport Harbor. Even if you have to run an RPO, you just got to get enough yards for the 1st down, make something happen, keep your drive going, keep yourself alive to put yourself in a position to win.
This is the game here, 4th and 7. Big man rush. Spigarelli somehow avoids the sack, spinning around. He loses the ball. And Newport falls on top of it, but it's a turnover on downs. And what could be the period on this latest chapter of America's finest rivalry football game.
And you could just see the Sea Kings on the sideline just basically firing up the crowd. That might have been game right there. Unfortunately for Newport Harbor, they just did not give Spigarelli enough time in the pocket, and he had to go hacky sacks right there. So unfortunately, right there for Newport Harbor, that this is going to look like Corona Del Mar controlled everything. But Newport Harbor does have all 3 of their timeouts. But we shall see.
Newport does have all their 3 timeouts, but it seems like their backs are to the wall in this moment with 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in the game. And Brady Annette, who might be the hero tonight. 1 year ago, on looking, the Sailors storming the field. It could be the Sea Kings storming the field here tonight.
That's unfortunate, but safety first.
Baranowski on the tackle with the handoff there to Chase Kuchera.
You could just feel the Newport Harbor side seeing the life sucked out of them. And it's unfortunate, but there's still some life for Newport Harbor. And it looks like Newport Harbor's not even going to call their timeouts, which I understand.
Potentially could be trying to run it down through here with 4 downs, save those 3 timeouts in case they score. A comeback here would be one of the greatest of all time, as Dorset Stecker gets the toss and Trevor Glenn is there to meet him close to the line of scrimmage. It's a 1-yard gain, 3rd down.
And that is a timeout called by Newport Harbor, and now's the time to start calling them timeouts because you're not going to take them into next week.
San Juan Hills will take, Corona Del Mar will take on Villa Park next week, who actually beat Tesoro High School 42-24 yesterday. Newport Harbor will prepare for San Juan Hill Stallions, and this is a must-win game for the Sailors tonight. Every single game matters, and if they want to get to the playoffs, they essentially need to win this game because you look at the list of teams that they have for the rest of the season. Villa Park looks solid. Linda has been up there in the top 25 rankings. They're 5-1. San Juan Hills at 4-2. Yes, they've had their struggles, but they just look tougher than this Newport Harbor Sailors team. So you can mark those 2 games as potential losses, but all these games now are must-win for the Sailors, and this might be their season right here too now.
Absolutely, and honestly, this is big time. This is crunch time for Newport Harbor, and yeah, those last 3 games are brutal. Yes, they're at home, but honestly, it just does not look promising for the Sailors. I see them as heavy underdogs going into San Juan Hills, Yorba Linda, and Villa Park, especially with Villa Park having their quarterback from Loyola fully eligible.
It's 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. It's 3rd and 6. Looks like the timeouts are still left on the boards. It should be two timeouts left on the board for the Sailors right now.
The ball spotted at the 44-yard line.
And this is a big down here for the Sailors if they still want to keep this game alive in some way. It's a handoff to Kuchera going around the corner. There's a flag in the backfield before he tries to get to the first down marker. Bernowski on the tackle. We'll see what the flag is.
And that's going to be holding on the Sea Kings. And that stops the clock, which is big for Newport Harbor, and it puts Corona Del Mar in a 3rd and long situation. So I still expect Corona Del Mar to run the ball just because that sounds like the most logical thing. It's just that if you throw it and you get an incompletion, then that would be the worst thing for them because that stops the clock again, and Newport Harbor would have a chance to maneuver.
A little bit interesting, too. If they actually declined that penalty, it would have been 4th down. They could have tried to make the line jump there, but 4th down, but you get the 10-second runoff. You take that or the 3rd down here, and what happens if they convert it? All the ifs there on the table. But it looks like Coach Matt Burns is just going to elect to extend the down for Corona Del Mar. The clock is ticking down. Newport Harbor's their secondary playing soft coverage. 3rd down and 15. As Annette rolls around, running outside, and dragged down by the shoulder of Baranowski, had the grab there. The sideline wanted a horse collar tackle initially, but it was right on that shoulder, so actually a good tackle there as the Sea Kings try to run down the clock. And timeout, Newport.
That should be their 2nd timeout, but on that play, everyone was expecting horse collar, but if you don't grab the collar, it's not horse collar. If you grab like the plate of the number or the jersey, that's not the collar. It is not a flag. So Newport Harbor dodged a bullet on that one.
Corona Del Mar looking to get back into the playoffs and potentially go for another state title run. They've done that twice. The only team in the state to ever go 16-0 in 2013, and the same thing in 2019. CDM so far this season, 4 games. They've beaten opponents by 20 points or more. Rancho Verde, Green Mountain, Trabuco Hills, and San Juan Hills. They look like a team that is collective enough to make a deep run, and they have kind of been a big surprise this season because we thought San Juan Hills for sure would have been the front runner in the Bravo League or Yorba Linda, but both of those teams have really had their struggles in that game last night with San Juan Hills, and Yorba Linda just describes how cannibalistic it is for the Bravo League with these teams in this bunch.
Yeah, and Corona Del Mar with a win tonight would be all alone in 1st place in that Bravo League. So for Newport Harbor, it's feast or famine with this punt.
On the way, it's Ryan Palmer to take the return. Trying to get upfield and give his team a chance as he's brought down off of his feet at the 30-yard line. 2 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. With Newport having 2 timeouts left in the game, it seems, on the board. We thought it was going to be 1 timeout left, but they have 2 on that board still. But they quickly need a touchdown if they want a fighting chance, as the Kings crew is getting ready at the front of the stands, all piling up, waiting to storm the field for the first time since 2022 when they beat the Sailors 28-14 to cap off what they call the decade of dominance. So here is Spigarelli Finds McKibben for a quick one, but he put his knee on the ground, so the clock will run as he put his knee there. It is a first down, but now they need to go quickly. The clock is running down at about 1 minute and 45 seconds. Coach Ray Huizar trying to rally his boys into their positions. The clock has been reset to 1 minute and 47. Not sure why that happened. The Sailors pretty much catch a break there, but most likely because they were resetting the chains. Spigarelli got Stremick.
Jackson Stremick. Good for another Newport Harbor first down.
And Stremick was very fortunate to get out of bounds, because had he not, that would have kept the clock going to an extent. But he made that one quick jump for out of bounds and stopped the clock.
Yeah, it does save the clock indeed, as Newport Harbor in essentially 1 minute drill time. There's a flag on the play right before the snap. Encroachment on the line moves the Sailors up a little bit more, so Sea Kings, wanting a competitive game, gives the Sailors some freebies.
First and 5 for Newport Harbor.
First and 5 now at the 46. Ugarelli, good pocket. Wants to come out the way, and he's taken down from behind. Cash Pearsall, who has been a huge impact player tonight, gets a huge sack there. The clock will run.
Yeah, Cash Pearsall has been cash money for this Corona Del Mar defense. And the clock is still running, and it's getting worse and worse for Newport Harbor. They really need to score here. This might be going for broke.
Clock under a minute. Spigarelli needs a shot. Misses his intended receiver and put it in no man's land. Puchero was there, including Henry Burchard, who could have picked it, but it was behind him anyways.
It's like Cannon Cook kind of took a little tumble right there, but he is up and out of it.
So it's under a minute on the clock now after that sack and then the incomplete pass, 3rd down and 10. 2 timeouts left for the Sailors. The Sea Kings trying to chart a course to victory. Spigarelli takes a shot, got McKibben as he steps out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at 51 seconds.
Yeah, good play right there from McKibben, especially recognizing his surroundings, especially with a Corona Del Mar defender right on his feet. So Newport Harbor, they still got to keep it going. Eventually they would need the 2-point conversion, but at this point you just need 7 and then the onside kick.
The Sailors refusing to sink under the tidal waves. And Spigarelli with a huge blitz in his face takes it himself. Trying to turn upfield and then finally tackled by the Sea Kings on defense. The clock will run, and Matt Burns will take that timeout at 40 seconds on the clock.
And if
So 40 seconds on the clock. Sailors pretty much need a touchdown within this time span. And then an onside kick pretty much at that point, because they have only 1 timeout left on the board. It's going to take miracles.
Indeed. And heck, Newport Harbor, if they're feeling that aggressive, they go for 2-point conversions to try to win the game. So that would mean they need at least 1 2-point conversion to try to tie, but 2 would help them win if they can get 2 touchdowns, which would be quite the miracle for them.
Second down and 1 after the Jordan Spigarelli scramble. Five-man blitz. Spigarelli, the pass tipped on the outer edge. Incomplete. Tucker Murray there to save the outer boundaries catch for Shea McKibben.
Yeah, got to get the ball to your hot hand receiver. It's basically that, and then you also got to try to get to out of bounds as well. So this is just a very sticky situation for Newport Harbor. You could also try shots into the end zone, but I think what matters now is getting the first down and stopping the clock.
Spigarelli, another five-man blitz, got hit initially and couldn't get away from the wave of Sea Kings there on that play. It will be fourth down as they try to move the play through. Another sack on Jordan Spigarelli. The clock is going down. Under 20 seconds. They need to get a playoff. They're just playing this off.
That was Daniel Zimino Pereira on that sack, by the way.
This is pretty much the game here, and Spigarelli will almost get swallowed through the entire Sea King. Faithful storm the field, and Spigarelli is over it, and that is it here at Dick Tucker Field.
That could have been a little dangerous with them storming the field with the game going on, but that is the game right there. And the Mariners Telegraph Trophy will be going back to Corona Del Mar.
The Sea Kings will hoist the Mariners Commodore Telegraph Bell Trophy for the first time since 2022. And it's the first Battle of the Bay win for Coach Heddig in his tenure as head coach of this program, as the Sea Kings come away 21-6 in the 64th edition of the Battle of the Bay. Boy, did the Sea Kings really seem like they earned this win here tonight. And they are no more deserving as they remain undefeated on the season, taking down the Sailors here at Orange Coast College.
To Newport Harbor's credit, they did hold Corona Del Mar to their lowest total this season, but their offense just did not show, unfortunately, especially in that second half. This is just another one of those learning processes for Newport Harbor, and this is their first non-one-score loss, but it just felt like a one-score loss. So I imagine Corona Del Mar and the student section obviously wanted this moment. So I think for the Sea Kings, they earned this one. But Newport Harbor, they're starting to get better, but it's just another heartbreaking loss. No moral victories. They just got to flush this, move on to San Juan Hills.
We'll break down everything else as we take a break here. Before we come back, we'll have Kira Kirby down on the sidelines, and we'll break down everything here from this Battle of the Bay here on the 64th edition. Stick around on Tar TV Sports. Back here on TAR TV Sports, here at the scene of Sea Kings down on the field, Kira Kirby is with Dorset Stecker for a sideline interview. Kira.
Hi, I'm Kira Kirby, live on the sidelines with Dorset Stecker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another exciting end to Battle of the Bay. Dorset, tell me, what were your feelings coming into this game?
We just knew we got to get that dub. I mean, I'm a senior, and last 2 years we lost, so we knew we had to get, our get back, and we got that get back, and we got that bell back.
What do you think was the game-changing moment for your team? I mean, it's always intense coming into Battle of the Bay, and you never know what's going to happen. Do you think that there was that one moment, and what do you think that was?
I don't think there's one moment, but we knew coming into the game there would be ups and downs, and we knew we're going to feed off the energy like Cash Pearsall got a pick, and I feel like that made us feel like, oh, we got this one. And yeah, I feel like that play for sure is definitely one of them.
That makes sense, but we also know that you play both sides of the ball, and you are a playmaker out there too. What do you think was your key moment in this game tonight?
I feel like the defense was keying on me the whole game, so I could get the other guys open. They doubled me basically the whole game, so if they double me, then the outside's going to be wide open, and that's what we had today, so it's pretty good.
Well, thank you so much, Dorset. We appreciate you taking the time. We know your team's celebrating. We'll let you get back there.
All right.
Back to you, TAR TV.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get another from the quarterback hero himself. We'll be back here for a small break before we get him on the screen. Here, Kirby's down on the sidelines with another interview. Garrett James for the Kings. Let's go meet them down on the field.
Curve on the sidelines. I got another CDM athlete. This is Garrett James, senior wide receiver and little bit of defensive back also. So Garrett, what would you say was the game-changing play of the game?
I think a couple of mine being able to get over top of their defense and Chase's long run in the beginning. That was a great play to get us going on offense.
Yeah. Now, coming into Battle of the Bay, it's always high energy, intense. Your team was coming in undefeated, but at the same time, it doesn't always translate in this big game. What was your team's energy, or like going into halftime? You were up, but like what was going on in the locker room?
I mean, obviously at halftime we weren't.
Yeah,
we could have been up a lot more. Just had to finish some drives, but it was kind of just to keep it slow, take it one play at a time. It's just like any other game. Don't need to make it any bigger than it is.
Okay. And then just one final question. If you had to give out the MVP for this game, who's getting that?
I think Cash Pearsall. Flying around, had an interception, great energy guy. He had a great game today.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Garrett. We appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kira. And for the last time tonight, Justin Lee with Taryn Rodriguez in what was a pretty much rout from the Sea Kings, and they were able to finish this game. Taryn, what are your final thoughts from this tonight?
Well, I will say this about Newport Harbor. They held Corona Del Mar to their lowest total this season, but they scored the fewest points they have had this season. So a lot of takeaways for this game. I think for Newport Harbor, it's just another tough loss. No moral victories. They really just got to play a complete four-quarter game. The offense just did not seem like it was there. The defense held their own for the most part. It was bend, not break. But unfortunately, they just could not answer in terms of points. Now they've got another tough game against San Juan Hills on a short week, mind you, and that one's going to be a big challenge.
This was a big night for both teams tonight on this Saturday night. And for the last time, Justin Lee with Taryn Rodriguez. The final score 21-6 here at Dick Tucker Field. Make sure to follow us on TAR TV Sports on our Instagram and YouTube. And for all of us here, we say thank you on this Saturday night for joining us. And what a big night it was. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as we say to all our friends and family at home, we say good night from Costa Mesa.
We'll see you Friday for San Juan Hills.